the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape. Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. 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 Grind the tape.
The tape.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
The tape.
UGA game day, boy, we ball out. Pull up, put the whole conference in the doghouse. Leave them 6 feet, see me on the win streak. All-star status, go coach, and the bench deep.
Right.
Offense on 10, how we run it? Your best ain't nothing, we gon' send them boys punting.
Yeah.
Black and red, got them dead on arrival. Defense hunker down for the tie. Hey, you don't want it with the dogs. Found guy on it, you don't want it with my dog. Break it down, play by play, that's the day-to-day.
Yeah.
They know we ain't come to play, boy, it's UGA. Kirby smart, I cannot play the fool. Back to back, we did not come to lose. Back to back, like we got something to prove. Pay your dues, dog nation on the move. What's up?
We doing a little bit different around here.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape. The tape.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Shut up. Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape. The
Shut
tape.
up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
Shut up and grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape.
Shut up and grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
Shut up. The tape.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guy Network on a fabulous Monday evening here on the show. We got an absolutely loaded one for you here on a Monday night. Dabo Swinney goes absolutely nuclear. We talked about that story on Thursday. Then he hit us with the random weekend press conference. And then lambasted full receipts, Pete Golden and the Ole Miss Rebels. So we'll talk about that tonight. We also have college football playoff news to apparently talk about today on January 26th, right after the season ends. We have more college football playoff news to talk about. Deion Sanders going viral out there at Colorado, Buffalo Town.
Yep.
All right, for something that I think everybody else is doing, but only Deion is publicizing, if you will. We will also have our first edition of off-season editions. How about that? First edition of off-season editions. How about that on tonight's show? Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, fire it off in the chat. You know how it works. It is off-season, so there are going to be a lot of passerbys and whatnot. We are in hopes, and here's why we grind during the offseason. The boys know this. We grind during the offseason for the sycophant that's still out here looking for college football content during the offseason and hasn't found us. Reason being, I think this is a home of sickos. I think the most sickos of sickos love this place, right? You got to understand the why. Got to look for the why to love this place. And if you're a football fan looking for college football content in the midst of the end of January or, God forbid, early February, you're our kind of sicko, and you're the kind of fan we want to be put in front of. So make sure you're fired off in that chat today and hitting that thumbs up button so we can make sure we do our best chance getting put in front of the algorithm and getting put in front of those new people. That's who we're looking for today. First off, before we hit the news of today's show, I just want to make sure everybody got out of that winter storm nice and safe. Did it get gnarly over by you guys? It wasn't too bad over here.
The roads were certainly covered in ice by us, but we maintained power the entire time, so that was the best thing about it.
Now, you used to have the big four-wheel drive Jeep. Now and not so much of a four-wheel drive vehicle.
No, but I did drive my wife's car tonight because we found out her car has a snow mode on it.
Okay, and you got the Danger Ranger, but probably don't want to go out getting shitty in the snow in the Danger Ranger because that thing is pristine.
I wouldn't take it out there anyways.
Yeah, probably not.
Rear-wheel drive.
Reason being, I'm asking because, I got the four-wheel drive truck, and
Right.
the only time it ever gets put in four-wheel drive is to get shitty in the snow.
Yeah.
The once or twice a year it snows down here. So, boy, I had a blast the last
Yeah.
3 days. Now, the wife is super nervous. Don't be driving. I'm like, honey, ain't nothing for the Tundra. I mean, it's named after this. You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's true.
So-
Fair point.
I had a
Yeah,
good time. I
the-
hope everybody else is safe, though.
The 24 hours for us was not bad at all. We got a lot of ice, but none of it stayed long enough to have
Yeah.
any effect on the road. So
Kids had fun sledding.
Yeah.
I honestly thought the icing was better for sledding down here in Georgia than the typical Georgia snow.
Yeah, for
you know, the typical Georgia snow ain't good for sledding
No.
because we got about 2 inches on it. You hit it one pass, and then boop, there goes the snow. Now we're down to grass. The ice, however, let the kids sled over and over and over again. I liked it. I was a fan of it. I did not like the threat of a loss of power, though. But
Yeah.
we were more than prepared for that.
Yes, you were.
We were more than prepared for that. But I hope everybody's doing well out there. Oxford got hit really, really hard. I hope the folks out there.
I know Tennessee did too.
Yep, Tennessee and Nashville got hit really, really hard. Hope the folks out there in those, more critical areas are doing all right. Hope they get power back. Shout out to the linemen. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Shout out to the linemen. It's your Super Bowl out there nowadays. So shout out to those guys. Hopefully we get some power back up to those who need it. Let's talk about some news, boys. We talked about the Fernelli story, the Cal linebacker that transferred to Clemson and then was taken from Clemson and transfers to Ole Miss, right?
Yep.
$1 million was the reporting. Pete Golden called, hey, what's the buyout? We'll give you $1 million. Sorry, coach, I'm a Clemson Tiger. Matter of fact, I'm turning you into Dabo for a little bit of tampering. Oh, really? $2 million. Huh. Where do I sign, coach? Now I'm a rebel. Talked about that story on Thursday before we went out. And then my man Dabo went full-fledged. I got the receipts. Now, my notes say he went full-fledged crazy ex-girlfriend, but he didn't just key the car. He sent photos of the infidelity to everybody in the email chain. That's basically what we had going on with the press conference. What were you guys' thoughts on the press conference in and of itself? Not necessarily the storyline. We've milked the topics on the storyline in and of itself already.
I mean, it was exactly what I expected Dabo Sweeney to come out. I mean, this is a guy that for years was kind of like, oh, we don't need the transfer portal. We shouldn't need. And the moment that they really start exercising it, this happens to him. So you would expect for him to come out kind of firing and sending shots and having, verbal just jabs thrown in there, which was what I expected. But honestly, the message that he delivered, I kind of agreed with it on all the ways. Obviously, when Dabo Sweeney's doing it, it comes from this holier than thou place that you can kind of laugh at. But everything he said, I honestly agreed with.
Oh, I loved it. And I think it kind of enlightened me to what I now appreciate Dabo Sweeney for, because us, just like majority of college football fans, like to throw shots at Dabo Sweeney and like to throw shade at that program for how he's operated and how it's kind of on a downhill climb, how Clemson's not the same as it was a few years ago. And it kind of made me realize that I think Dabo Sweeney is just okay with how things are. I think he's okay with, if I get fired for being this way, I'm good with it. It doesn't matter to me because I'm doing what I think is best to potentially try and change college football or try and proceed change to happen in the sport because it desperately needs it.
Now, there was a lot in this press conference, but there was about 8.5 minutes directly relative to this Ole Miss story, right? To this poaching and tampering story that there is out there with these football teams. And I think the one that stuck out to me most, right, was not just the receipt laying out of how this happened and what went down. And God forbid, if he actually has proof of those text messages from Pete Golden, there might be some problems there. I think Pete Thamel even went as far as to say that today on McAfee's show, right? Everybody tampers, but this is the first time we've ever heard of a football coach being the one saying, hey, what's that buyout on that clause? So a little bit different if indeed Dabo does have the full receipts, not just the timeline of the receipts. I think there's two totally different storylines there, right? If he actually has tangible receipts to turn into the NCAA, maybe we do have our first case of somebody getting in trouble for quote-unquote tampering. But if this is just a timeline of an event, then this is just a pissed-off football coach going to a microphone and complaining. But I do think there is a very pivotal portion of that press conference that I think people should pay attention to, and it's that one where he calls out every football coach. He basically says, I know I've spoken to a bunch of other football coaches that have a very similar story or one worse than the one I have. And I challenge every single one of those football coaches that have reached out to me over the last week and a half, and come to the microphone and tell your story. Call this stuff out, because it's the only way that it's going to stop. And we've been about 4 days since this lambasting of Pete Golding on the timeline. We've been 4 days since this challenge to every football coach that has a similar story that apparently has been calling Dabo Sweeney. And here we are. None of these coaches have come to a microphone and said any of this. And do you know why?
Because they're all tampering.
Because they're all tampering, and they cannot do it. They cannot come to the microphone like Dabo can and come out here and just throw all of this caution to the wind and say tampering is bad for the sport. Nobody should be doing it. Lord knows I'm not. Y'all need to stop this. And the reason that's a major concern to me, but I do want to give Dabo props, because he is the only football coach pure enough to throw these stones, and he should be commended for that. However, Jonathan, you are correct, because this could be the death of him, right? His holier-than-thou-ness, his superiority, his morality complexes about this issue could be the exact reason why they aren't the Clemson of old, and why they'll never have the roster that other people currently do in an era of college football where everybody knows that there is cheating going on, and instead of, fixing it, everybody's like, well, no one's here to govern it, so I'm just going to do it as much as I possibly can. I respect Dabo for it. That being said, if nobody's, I compared it to you guys today. If you're on a highway and you're the only one going by a mythical speed limit, nobody else is, you're pretending as if there is, two things are going to happen. You're either going to get rear-ended, or you're going to get passed by sitting still. And that's exactly what's kind of happening right now. Dabo just got rear-ended. But I would argue that over the last 3 or 4 years, he's been passed by. He just ain't quite sitting still just yet.
Yeah, and that's why, I don't mind that Dabo elected to have this press conference and decided to ramble on for 25 minutes, because, there's so many different times where Dabo Sweeney does this and people kind of roll their eyes and are like, oh, here goes Dabo on his high horse, blah, blah, blah. But this is something I feel like somebody had to do. And Dabo, it might be the only coach that can do this. And it's coming from the right person, or at least we believe the right person, in the sense of he's one of the few, or one of the only ones that isn't doing this, that isn't breaking this rule of contacting athletes when you shouldn't be. And unfortunately, it's a shame, because he did this and he did a call to action and nobody else came to action, because you're exactly right. I mean, nobody else can do this, because it's like, oh, well, yeah, Rich, coming from you because you did it with our athletes too.
You know what my notes say? My notes say there's no vigilante to stop and scare the criminals at night.
No.
There's nobody.
No.
There's no magic light that goes out in the sky that says, oh, we probably shouldn't do this today. Nope. It's free reign on the city. You can go do whatever you want right about now.
Yeah, and I mean, the passing Dabo by thing is absolutely correct, because if the way that college football continues to be, teams like Clemson that do not do these types of things will absolutely get passed up. I think we've seen it in the last 3 years of the decline that they've had. But at the same point, no one's really looking around and kind of saying, like, okay, yeah, this is good for college football. Like, people understood the transfer portal of, hey, some athletes don't want to sit on the bench for 4 years of the career. Let them transfer to places that would need them. And that was kind of when Dabo Sweeney turned his nose to that, was kind of like, what are you doing? You're a little too holier than thou. This, we all agree, just tampering and being able to say, oh, you have signed contracts, don't worry about that, come join our team. That's a little too much. I think we can all get behind Dabo Sweeney saying, like, this needs to stop. So
honest
I get
to
it.
God, I think the biggest statement of approval from the coaching world was a quote tweet from Brett Bielema that basically said the old adage of, we got to get a hold on this thing.
Yeah.
Nobody is out here being like, you know what, Dabo, you're right. Here's my story. Here's what happened to me. It just tells you they're all dirty. They all have skeletons in the closet. And he must not, by the way, at least in the current era of how we add and drop rosters, he must be clean as a whistle.
I mean, probably in this regard. I would be very surprised.
In the tampering regard.
Well, yeah, I mean, they haven't started really taking transfer players to the last 2 or 3 years, but I mean, everyone, look, again, like it's the old adage, like everyone's cheating, but this is like the extreme level of, oh my God, what the hell are you doing type cheating. That, like you said, and even Dabo Sweeney said, everyone's complaining behind doors. We sit here and talk about how being a college football coach is the most stressful job because of stuff like this, to where he even had a quote. He said, you can sign a guy, have practices, have meetings, and all the other stuff, and you're not even sure that that will be your roster. So, like, there is no way to confirm who will be on your team and who will not be just because of what tampering is right now.
And I thought the coolest part about, or not the coolest part, but I thought like one of the more interesting parts about Dabo's entire timeline of all of this is the portion where they're having conversations like, oh, yeah, they're telling us about tampering. They're telling us about, hey, the GM has had contact with us. They sent a picture of this $1 million contract. And Clemson and Dabo are like, well, we want those screenshots. We want to be able to send this to the NCAA. And they're like, well, if you match the offer, we'll send you the
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
And
the
then-
balls on that agent.
And then Dabo being like, well, no, we're not doing that. So like, he's even crippling his own case against him to like fight against this.
The agent triple crossed.
Yeah.
The agent was like, hey, they're tampering with your player. And he was like, okay, and I want to let you know this because I want to do future business with you guys, Clemson. They're tampering with your guy. Oh, all right. Thanks for the proof. Hey, by the way, they're tampering with your guy and they offered him $2 million. So here's the deal. If you counter, we'll let you turn them in.
Yep.
If not, we're going to damn with your proof.
Yeah.
And then
The balls on that agent.
And then the part with the agent where I think it's Dabo who called him and they're like, hey, Luke's in the office right now trying to get his transfer portal paper submitted right now. And the agent's like, what the heck? What? Let me figure out what's going on here.
WTH?
Yeah. What?
Huh?
What do you mean? Like, come on.
He's not responding to your phone calls. This is wild.
Yeah.
He's what? He's where? Huh.
Just, man.
Yeah, that really showed the sleaziness that some agents can have.
For
in
the
this sport.
9,000th time on this network, I think all of you NIL agents are sleazeballs. I will continue to say it on this network. If any of you listening to the sound of my voice ever feel like changing my thoughts on how slimy you are, feel free. The Instagram DMs are open.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, like the main message I got that Dabo concluded with was, stop complaining about this. Stop bitching if you're not going to come out and say anything about it. I'm the only one who's saying things now. Obviously, a lot of these guys don't have a leverage point to be able to like, hey, you need to stop this because they're all doing it. But it was kind of if you're going to keep doing this, don't complain. Don't come crying to me.
And again, like to circle back to what we initially said about this entire story of like, we are all aware that tampering happens. I mean, as soon as there was this thing invented of the no contact tag when players enter the portal, like we knew well and aware what was happening in college sports. But like, so we knew that was happening, but then we also said that with this case, like eventually far is too far. In this case where a kid is in classes, he's going to meetings, he has an apartment or whatever, he has a car, all this stuff at Clemson, and he's not in the portal, and he re-enters the portal. Like, eventually enough is like, and this was the perfect place and time, in my opinion, for a coach to stand up and say something.
Here's my opinion. If a player has signed a contract within 30 days of that contract, you cannot go in there and steal that football player. If you do, you have crossed the line. This goes with Lane Kiffin as well. And that's what Ole Miss fans have gotten all up in arms about. It's like, hey, we're not the bad guys. We're only doing this because other people are doing this. Dabo's an idiot. He should just catch up with game. Match the offer. Broke money scare money don't make money type stuff.
Yeah.
And I just think if we don't start drawing a moral line, there is never going to be one.
Right.
And currently we're in a sport where there is none. So, I mean, I thought the portal was closed.
Yeah.
That type of deal.
Just-
I understand these contracts are, not worth the paper that they're written on or the name is getting signed on, but we have to give some type of line of demarcation of, hey, let's not go past this one.
Yeah, I mean, just fix the transfer window. Make it to where you get one free transfer, and that is it. After that, you lose a year of eligibility. And I understand that. Like, perfect example here. Sorry, I just transferred to Clemson. If I transfer to your school, I'm going to have to sit out a year. And by the way, Ole Miss isn't going to pay dead weight to have someone sit on their bench for a year. We talked about how having money tied up that doesn't get used is one of the worst things you can do as a college football program. No team's going to pay $2 million to have $1 million worth of it sit on their bench for a year.
Hard part is none of these contracts are actually enforceable,
Right.
which leads into our next topic, which is Deion Sanders going viral for his fine structure for his NIL contracts, and his football team had a big team meeting, had the fines put up on the board. Here's what I will tell you about this story. Everybody has a fine structure.
Yeah.
Everybody in college football has a fine structure. However, nobody talks about it. The reason being, it ain't legal. It ain't technically legal. They are not employees. You cannot have any type of structured contract that says, hey, if you show, we're paid for playing. That's all we're doing. Now, you can have some type of structure in the marketing deals of that. You actually have to show up to this dealership to get $150K. You actually have to go to this autograph signing to get this type of stuff. But we cannot have actual enforceable, written in types of fine. We can't have this. That's why nobody actually talks about it. That being said, everybody's doing this. Our first run in with this was when Pete Nakos, shout out to the homie Nakos reported during SEC Media Days a couple years ago that Georgia was, quote, fining football players for parking tickets and parking violations, driving violations. And then we all, as a beat reporting base, got emails immediately saying those are not fines. Those are not fines. Those are and real clerical, like finicky word choice usage of flipping that around, because you cannot fine people who are not employees. So all that being said, $500 for being late to practice, $1,000 for being late to workouts. I thought that was interesting. If you're late to practice, $500. You're late to workouts, $1,000.
Yeah.
Interesting. Missing practice, $2,500. Now, I found it funny that Twitter was like, really? Division I players miss practice?
Ha.
Buddy, way more than you think they do. Way more than you think they do.
I guess
So,
my
yeah.
question would be, like, do you think that's more common now that players miss practice?
What you mean?
Like, do you think it's become more common for players to miss practice now?
No. I think it's less common that players miss practice. I think it's more common that players are like, hand me a little tight today, coach.
Sure.
Hand me a little tight today. Not really feeling this one, because I bet there are performance enhancers in that contract as well. You know, performance incentives. Hey, if you get a certain amount of starts, you get this bump. So I would 100% guarantee there is a lot more propensity to can't really go today, coach, than there used to be.
Sure.
But used to, there was probably a whole lot of, you say, well, we got a party tonight. I can miss. I might be able to sleep through practice or workouts tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like kind of a catch-22 type of deal there.
Yeah.
So
It is interesting that, like, Deion Sanders kind of came out with this and was it to some people viewed as like he's such a revolutionary coach. It's so impressive how he's changing the sport and enacting these policies that NFL teams have. And this, like, it's
kind of like, 10 months ago when he got very, very popular for the we're gonna scrimmage Syracuse. We're gonna scrimmage Syracuse spring game here in Buffalo or here in Boulder. We're gonna televise it. And the NCAA was like, whoa, not enough time.
Yeah.
Talk to us next year.
Haven't heard anything about that.
Anybody heard anything?
Nope.
Anybody heard anything about Colorado scheduling a inter squad?
No.
Okay. So, yeah. But no, he is not the first to do this. I do think he's the first to publicize this, which I think says more about the fact that there are constantly cameras in that building than anything else. So college football staying at 12. This is official.
Yes.
yeah.
Who
so
wrote this in the notes today? Please inform the people.
I did. So there was in the talks of it got lost in between all of the things.
In the sauce?
Got lost in between everything that was going on with the transfer portal and coaching changes and roster acquisitions that there was a serious debate going on, a serious push from the Big Ten to expand the college football playoff to, I believe, 24 games. Is that correct, Jay Will?
Correct.
Yes.
And the SEC was kind of pushing back on that, saying that's too many. Maybe you can find some middle ground here. And ultimately, there was a date that if they didn't come to an agreement, the tournament would just remain at 12 games. That date has obviously since passed, and the tournament will remain at 12 games for the 2020 season. However, they are going to do some different rules with it. For example, if Notre Dame is ranked inside the top 12, it does not matter. They will be an auto bid. So as long as you have that top 12 spot, for example, Notre Dame would have been a playoff team this year in that case.
Question for and from the class, Professor Kirby. Did they remove the stipulation that left us with the two G5s this year, which is automatic bids for the top 5 champions.
Yes.
The conference champions. They removed that one?
Yes. It says
So we're not
in
going to
here-
have any of this goofy shit anymore.
It says in this ESPN article, it says the Power 4 conference champions will be guaranteed spots in the 12-team playoff field, along with the highest-ranked conference champion from the group of 6, which now includes the new-look Pac-12. Notre Dame will also be a lock for the playoff if it finishes in the selection committee's top 12.
All right.
Had those rules existed, both the ACC champion Duke and Notre Dame would have qualified for the playoff. Number 10 seed Miami, which played for the national title, would have been excluded.
Huh.
So this was basically the way they had it at first was just
I don't know if I like this. I like the fact that we're going to get rid of these G5s, but until the ACC figures out their conference and how to actually deem the right team to play for the championship, I'm out on this. I'm out on the fact that Duke would have gotten a bid last year, and the fact that there's nothing telling me that the ACC conference, the way that it is and how they've stipulated their conference slate, that they're guaranteed to get the right answer as who won their championship and who was the best team in their conference. You see what I'm saying?
No, I agree with the fact that Duke shouldn't have been playing.
Here's the deal. If the ACC commissioner came out tomorrow and said, we're going to do what the Mountain West does, during our conference title game, we're going to take the 2 highest ranked teams in the college football playoff rankings, and we're going to make them play. And the winner goes. And then if the second best team is deemed one of the 12 best teams, they'll go too. But I'm not here for this. I'm not, because that will happen. I don't think it's crazy to think that that's going to happen again, where we got a 10-2 Miami team and an 8-4 conference champ, or a 9-4 conference champ out of the ACC. I'm not 100% sold that that's not going to happen again.
Yeah, I think that the biggest way to fix all of this is decide who goes to conference championships by using overall record and then use conference record as tiebreakers.
Yeah.
For example, Miami can drop 2 games within the conference, but because they aren't 7-5, they're still going to get the nod, even though their conference record's worse. Do what the NFL does. Because if you're a 9-7 team, it doesn't matter what your conference record is. You still have the better record overall. You get to win your division. I think that would greatly fix that before saying, ACC's no good. We need to get a group of 5 out. Just change that stipulation. Do that all across sports.
So that's obviously a compelling talking point about next year's college football playoff and how it's going to ultimately select its football teams. I think the memorandum of understanding is a little bit more important, considering the only thing it really tells us is that the Big Ten, the SEC, are better than everybody else, and Notre Dame's included in those. The Big Ten, the SEC, and Notre Dame, memorandum of understanding is that they take precedence over everybody else. So, Notre Dame, let me read you the schedule. Now, knowing they have to be ranked inside the top 12. You tell me how many of these games in their overall record they will have to be at the end of the year to actually be inside the top 12. Wisconsin, Rice, Michigan State, at Purdue, at UNC, Stanford, at BYU. Shout out to BYU for scheduling them, because otherwise that would be at Northern Illinois or something like that.
Right.
Navy, Miami, Boston College, SMU, at Syracuse. All right, so boys, they have 4 true road games next year. Those 4 games being Purdue, UNC, BYU, and Syracuse. They'll play 2 football teams that more than likely will be ranked during their contest. That would be BYU and Miami. My question to you, do they have to go 11-1?
It kind of seems that way, or they have to just beat the hell out of the other teams that they beat when they go 10-2. And even we saw that this year, and that wasn't enough. It would have been enough in this current format. But, I mean, this is kind of the trade-off that Notre Dame gives with itself, to where, hey, we do have these easier schedules because we're not a part of any conference, but at the same time, the margin for error for us is a lot thinner. So I get it, but I also understand that it's one of those things. I don't know.
I just think they should join the Mountain West, go 13-0 every year, and call it a day.
I mean,
I hope they don't.
That would make sense.
And demand that the Mountain West allow them to keep all their playoff money.
I guess I'd be for that if this continues to be an auto bid for the G6, because then that basically completely eliminates that. It's just, Notre Dame. But at that time, you're also just basically giving an automatic bid to Notre Dame. But it's an automatic bid for them every year if they have schedules like that, unless you lose 2 games somehow. Because, I do think you'd have to go 11-1 with that schedule, in my opinion. I think you should have to go 11-1 with that schedule. I don't think that's asking for too much.
I don't think that's asking for too much at all. I mean, 10-2 last year was obviously not enough, and they very well could have gone 11-1 with the schedule. That was much, much harder than the one they just got.
Don't think it's too much to ask you to go 11-1 with that schedule. I don't think it's too much to ask you to support those who support us.
Exactly,
which
which is why you should head over to Sleeper and give them some love. If you're wondering what Sleeper is at this point, it is a fantasy sports and real money gaming app that is focused on bringing people together through sports and gaming, has over 6 million active users as of 2023, and is earning some of the highest levels of engagement in the entire industry. And what a better time to head over there and get some plays. NFC Championships, AFC Championships were this past weekend. That means the Super Bowl is coming up, the game of all games. They're going to have some fantastic action. If you head over there and use promo code Brooks, you will get up to a $100 match on your first deposit, which means if you put 100 in, you get 100 back, 50, 50, so on and so forth. Terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details, and they are currently operational in over 25 states, including the state of Georgia.
You love to see it. Shout out to Sleeper. Shout out to Christian Kirby for nailing that ad read. Guys, we meant to do top 5 players and top 5 games on Thursday. Show was just too daggum jam-packed. So here we are on a Monday regurgitating the topics again. We got top 5 players in the 2025-2026 college football season. We have top 5 games. Let's do top 5 players first. I split mine in position and quarterback. Okay, so position players, top 5, quarterbacks, top 5. Which one you want first?
Let's go position players.
Well, here we go. Top 5 quarterbacks in the 2025 season per Jonathan Williams' request. You did say quarterbacks, right?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay. Number 5. He was really, really high on my list majority of the season, but man, did that playoff run make me question it just a tad bit. The Oregon Ducks signal caller, Dante Moore. Number 4, the total opposite. Balled out during the college football playoff run, Trinidad Chambliss.
Yeah.
Now, I do think you should probably go to the league. I don't think the NCAA should be out here giving you another one. If you play D2 ball, man, it counts. Otherwise, I still got 5.
Yeah, you do.
I ain't taking them, but I still got 5. I do think I could probably do some long snapping. I don't think I could cover, though. Probably pop a hammy. Maybe. Number 3. I'm big ups on this stock next year. Any guesses?
Big up.
Arch Manning.
Nope.
Did they play in the playoff?
Nope. Should have.
Big up.
CJ Carr.
CJ Carr. The Golden Domer. We love some CJ Carr stock right
Heisman
about now.
favorite right now.
Rightfully so. I think he's probably the most talented and probably safest bet at the quarterback position next year. Arch Manning, I think a stock that has some volatility. I think that's fair to say.
Sure.
Right about now. Number 2, we'll see you in the league. We'll see you probably top 45 pick. Hopefully see you without some cracked ribs. Ty Simpson.
Huh. Okay.
Did you guys' mindset on how he played down the stretch change when you found out he played basically the back half of the year with cracked ribs?
Well, I mean, it honestly wasn't there like kind of a rumor there late in the season
Yeah.
that he was dealing with something like this?
We were getting the that cold spray the soccer players get.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were getting some cold spray during the Iron Bowl, and I think that's when the internet was like, Spidey senses tingling, we might be hurt.
I mean, for me, like his late season performances ultimately got chopped up to like this offense was just way too one-dimensional for it to carry them into the playoffs and potentially win a national title.
Yes and no is my answer to that question, because I do feel like there were some throws in decisions that he was making at the start of the season. Not as much decisions, but just type of tight window throws where it's almost like this doesn't feel consistent. It did feel through that 4-game stretch that they went on in October of like Ty Simpson's almost playing perfect right now, which didn't feel sustainable. Now, obviously, the injury plays into that, but it ultimately was not towards the end of the season.
Number 1, Fernando.
Understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Earned it.
Just solid all the way through. Didn't light up the stat sheet, but didn't have to. Delivered in every moment you needed him to.
I thought they had 4 games to close the stretch, Big Ten championship, 3 playoff games. I thought he had 1 bad ball.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And it was in the
Freaking
national
nuts,
title.
man. Freaking nuts.
Yeah, I mean, the definition of when the lights are brightest, just play your best.
I got my top 5 position players. Jonathan, you want them 1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
5 to 1. You got to build always.
You know what? I like it. Let's go 5 to 1. Number 5, Jeremiah Love.
Oh, all right.
I felt like a little low here, but, with Jeremiah, it was just, can we stay healthy?
Mm-hmm.
If you stayed healthy, I think you might have been one of the greatest backs we covered.
If we got
3, think about this. Put it this way. If we got 3 years of 17 totes a game, Jeremiah Love,
Yeah.
we would shatter records.
Yeah, I mean,
And we never
yes.
got that.
We would definitely be foolproof to the 10-year later sports reference check on Jeremiah Love college career.
Correct.
We would be complete foolproof for that because it's going to happen. 10
Better
years from
pro
now,
career for sure.
People are going to be like, this guy you're talking about was one of the
Really?
greatest college backs at Notre Dame? Really?
I do think that at some point you have to account when you're available that limited, how it accounts into you as a player. Like, you can't just buy the peaks because if you're not on the field 40% of the time, that has to count into you as a player.
Number 4, a former quarterback himself turned, what's that thing called? Butt Kiss Award winner, Jacob Rodriguez, a Red Raider
Heck of
making
a
the
season
list.
from him.
Heck of a
Fantastic
season, dude.
season from him.
Every time you watch Texas Tech football, he pops off the screen just all over the place.
Yeah.
Passing game instincts are off the charts for that
Insane.
guy. Would make sense, former quarterback. Number 3, it's going to be a top 10 pick. People are going to compare him to Micah Parsons. Arvell Reese. Yeah, man. One of these guys that I think people are going to look back again and be like, damn, much better pro career than college career because he really only had like one pop season in college, and it was this year.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody was talking about Arvell Reese this time last year.
No, and I mean, sometimes it only takes that one season. So,
Number 2, thick lowers, Reuben Bain.
yeah.
Number 1, any guesses?
All right, I mean, Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually got somebody sent me a little factoid, a little remember when today at 2:44. It's a tweet from yours truly at 1:52, February 24th, 2022. Caleb Downs is my number 1 defensive back in America in 2023, and it won't take you long to see why. Boom.
Nice.
She's a hit.
That was a hit.
You and I had a very similar top 5.
I think we all did,
But
honestly.
I might have one controversial selection in my top 5.
Damn, Diego Pavia, huh?
No, not that controversial.
Please don't be.
But I didn't do the top 5 quarterbacks, top 5 position players. I just gave my top 5 players. And at number 5, I got Trinidad Chambliss.
Attaboy.
I have Trinidad Chambliss because I thought he was super impactful for that Ole Miss offense. I thought that he was very crucial for them in their 2 playoff games. Very impactful, or 3 playoff games, but really against Georgia and then against Miami. I thought that guy completely changed the trajectory of that season because had Austin Simmons been the starting quarterback, maybe still a playoff team, but I don't think that they would have continued to go as far as they did. I think that he really elevated that offense. I thought he was one of the more game-changing quarterbacks we had in the sport this year.
For him to play the way that he did down that stretch with basically no coaching,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Just go out and do it.
Look, Charlie Weiss, great play caller, and I'm sure did some things with them. But guys, position coach in and out, offensive coordinator in and out, the whole offensive staff in and out the whole entire time, and he's just dialed down the stretch. I thought it was one of the more impressive individual performances considering all the things going around it.
Yeah, completely agree. So that's why I have him at number 5 on my list. Number 4, I have Jacob Rodriguez. I mean, one of the more impressive seasons you could see from a linebacker, 10-plus turnovers forced at that position, just an all-around playmaker. They had a lot of dudes on that defense. He stood out consistently every single weekend when you watch Texas Tech. So for him to have a season like that, you're a Butkus Award winner. He's number 4 on my list. Number 3, I have Caleb Downs. I think that some people who maybe don't pay attention to Ohio State as closely probably look at Caleb Downs and are like, is he really that all impactful? I don't really see Caleb Downs making all these flash plays. I just don't think that's the player. He's always in the right spot, always doing the right things, and I think you'll really see how much of an impact he had on Ohio State's defense the last 2 years now that he's off that roster and once he goes to the league. So he's a top 5 player for me. Number 2, I have Jeremiah Love. I thought that he was a very underrated player until the back end of the season. Then you start seeing the Heisman build up for him, start getting some more reps at running back, some in-game reps, that is, start putting up better numbers. I think he'll go down as the best running back in this draft class that we have if he can continue to stay healthy. I think he's got a great career ahead of himself. And then also on top of that, for the beneficiary of Notre Dame to have Jeremiah Love on their roster this year to allow C.J. Carr to get out of his growing pains as a first-year starter. I know that Jadarian Price played a huge role in that, but Jeremiah Love is one of the bigger game changers we have had at that position over the last few years. And then number 1, it's Reuben Payne. Every single Miami football game that I watched in the last 3 months of this season, Ruben Bain was doing something special, it felt like, on every single play. Very rarely do you watch a player that truly feels unstoppable. That it just feels like there's not enough that you can do to maintain or contain this guy. And I think after watching the film studies and after watching their playoff run, I think the thing that stuck out the most to me about Ruben Bain is that the amount of snaps that he plays and the way that he continues to just battle through it, he never looks tired. He's never over there just like sucking wind or anything. That dude is giving 100% every single down, and it shows up on tape. So he's the best player for me this season.
Chat's giving us hell. Guys, Malachi Tony's going to be the top of every – he is the new Caleb Downs for me moving forward. You're just going to hear me talk about him being the best football player in college football. So, like, that's going to happen moving forward. Don't worry. We're not slighting baby Jesus. Lord knows we're religious around here. We're right there with you.
I didn't slide him. Gave him my number 5 spot, Malachi Tony.
My bad.
Number 5.
Should have let you cook.
Yeah, what he did down the stretch, especially with Miami, I do think that there are some concerns with fumbles. But other than that, get the ball in this guy's hands. He's electric. He is a massive problem to tackle. He is my 5th best player in college football. Number 4, I went Jacob Rodriguez for similar reasons we all did. Just an elite linebacker all the way around. Number 3, Caleb Downs, specimen. No other way to put it. One of those times where you just watch a player in the back end of a secondary and just think, you know what? You're just watching a first-round talent.
Can I go savant over specimen?
That's fair.
I would expect. When I think specimen at the safety position, I think of players like Kyle Hamilton, Sean Taylor.
Savant.
Yeah. When I think of savant,
a professional.
I think of Caleb Downs. I think of Ed Reed. I think of, like, he is the smartest football player over there, bar none.
Was a professional football player the second he stepped foot in Tuscaloosa and has been throughout his entire collegiate career. Number 2, I have Ruben Bain for all the same reasons. I have been very high on him all throughout the year. And my number 1, you have to put him there because of what he was able to do in this stretch. He delivered 16 straight games. He didn't statistically do anything crazy. It wasn't like he was, talent-wise the best. But there was no one other than Fernando Mendoza at the number 1 spot this year for college football. So I'm going to leave my number 1.
All right, well, here's where we actually have debates. And I want to see just absolute – I want to be mad at somebody by the end of this one. I want to be shouting at you, standing on table thinking, nope, you're wrong. This is the one.
Let's hear it.
Top 5 games of the 2025-2026 college football season. Mm-hmm. So here's how we do this. We're going to lob candidates up, all right? And we'll see how this goes.
All right.
Ole Miss versus Georgia, parts 1 and 2.
Oh, we have to do it
Is that
separately?
allowed? Or you're lobbing both games up?
Lobbing both.
That's 2 games.
Both up for candidacy.
They are 2 fantastic games. I will say.
Let's eliminate one of them for the hell of it.
You kind of have to eliminate the first one.
I don't know. I don't know if you could. If
and here's what
I'd lean the first one, honestly.
Here's what I would too. Trust
me. Go to war.
Here's why I would say this. The first one was absolute chaos for 3.5 quarters, and then the middle of the fourth quarter kind of just petered off. It was like, oh, wait, Georgia found a way to take the lead and hold on to it. The Sugar Bowl was down to the wire of Ole Miss has to crawl and get it, and then Georgia's going to come back and, they might tie. They might take the lead. Ole Miss has that last-minute incredible drive, and then obviously all the dramatics that happened at the end of the game. It felt more like a game from start to finish, as close as the first one was. They're both fantastic games. I think they both have an argument to be in the top 5, but I would pick the Sugar Bowl.
A little more down to the wire out there in New Orleans.
A little bit.
I'm with you.
I would pick the first game solely because I think that outcome of a game is a bit more of an anomaly than the playoff game. Like where you go the entire first 3 quarters of a game where neither team is not scoring. I mean, it is touchdown after touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. I mean, Georgia didn't punt a single time throughout the entire game. Ole Miss went 5 straight drives scoring a touchdown, and it seemed like neither team was going to get a stop, and ultimately it boiled down to which team could. Georgia managed to do it on back-to-back drives. And also, like, I'm always probably going to be a little partial to a game that's in an environment of college football, like part of the reason what makes college football so great, the fact that is played on a college campus.
I mean, shit.
I think that plays into it.
Jonathan, the Sugar Bowl was a home game for Ole Miss.
It was.
Sure, but you know what I mean.
Split.
It was. It was a home game for Ole Miss.
It was a good 70-30. It was loud.
I agree with that, but I'm saying, like, it's in Georgia Stadium. It's not in a neutral site stadium.
I'm game 2.
I'm going to say game 2.
Whatever. I think it's game 1.
I hear your argument, Gabe.
But are we in total agreement that's one of the 5?
Well, let's keep
All right,
living
well,
up.
we'll go.
Did not make my list. I'll tell you that much.
UGA Ole Miss Part 2 wins out for now. We'll put it down here. All right, next debate. I got Oregon versus Penn State in this mix. I remember watching that live and then watching the recap thinking that might be the hardest hitting college football game in years.
That was an extremely hard-hitting college football, extremely physical. I do think that, unfortunately, the way Penn State's season ended up, you kind of lose some of the shine off this game. But if you just watch it in a vacuum, you watch the rankings, overtime, big plays left and right, Heisman moments galore, it absolutely was a fantastic game.
Yeah, we went to OT.
Yeah, I do feel like, though, there was not as many fireworks. Like, for as much as we talk
It was
about,
a slog.
For as much as we talk about the Ole Miss, both Ole Miss and Georgia games, there was a lot happening. There was a lot scoring. There were scooping scores. There were 75-yard touchdowns. This kind of felt like a steady, methodical, like you have to really grind it out, which are fantastic games, but they're not as exciting.
I'm down with Nixon this one off the list.
I think it's a great game. I
think it's just on the outside for me, I think.
Is there do you guys have one that's like automatic guaranteed this has to be one of the 5?
Oh, yeah. Texas A&M Notre Dame.
Yeah?
That has to be
that
on the
is
top
I'm with
off
you.
of mine. Yes, I mean not only for how good of a game that was, for how much of a hey special teams matter moment we had, how much that changed the landscape of the postseason.
Yeah.
I mean, if Notre Dame wins that game, Texas A&M may or may not be a playoff team. Notre Dame certainly is. Who knows what happens with Miami plays Notre Dame again in a rematch? Like things like that big what if, and it's all decided by 1 point. So
And the fact of like the closing minutes of how that game was lost
Yes.
and won, like
Yeah.
that's peak college football. Of
A
your
controversial
freaking holder
moment. Yeah.
loses the ball on a PAT and you miss the PAT, and then there's a controversial call. It's like, oh, that's OPI. It's a game-winning touchdown. Like just ultimate college football highs.
And it gets through Buckner.
Yeah.
yeah, tough.
They had their own
I'm
one.
still mad that ESPN kept showing that poor guy on the broadcast.
I'm still mad no one gave that call. I mean, come on, you got an opportunity right there as a play-by-play
I don't
guy.
think anybody was ready to give the game-changing call on a PAT, though.
You're right.
Nobody's ready to give that one.
But on the replay, you got to say it. And it gets
Like when
through
we're going to
Buckner.
commercial and they're showing the replay.
Yep.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
It gets through Buckner.
Understandable. I'd like to give one that I don't know is going to be – it might be on your list, Jay Will. This was a double overtime game that had everything, had one of the craziest field stormings I've ever seen. Virginia versus Florida State was a very fun game to watch, especially watching Florida State crawl their way back into it, and then the way that game ended where we have a touchdown, but we bobble it so much that it's not a touchdown to where we don't get it. Very fun game to watch. I don't know if it's top 5, but
So that was a ACC Friday Night Madness. For
Sure
me.
it
was.
was.
I remember this because I was riding back from a high school football game where we did Friday Nights Mike, and I gave you guys Friday nights off, and it was Austin Mixon riding with me. And if you guys know, Austin Mixon went to high school with Thomas Castellanos, and big Tommy C fan. And boy, did I have a blast watching that debacle to close that football game.
You know, I think every top 5 list for like games in a season needs one of these, where maybe in the ultimate end of it, it didn't mean a whole lot. But when you want to talk about in the moment what this one mattered, Florida State is ranked. We're trying to figure out if they're back with Mike Norvell. There's maybe some momentum carrying their way.
Boom, Chad Morris, death.
Yeah, Chad Morris in Virginia. Hey, that might be a team to watch out in the ACC. Like this could be a deciding factor in who goes into an ACC championship game down the stretch. Like in the moment for a Friday night game, everybody's locked in.
Man.
This one mattered a whole lot.
Mike Norvell might have saved his ass. Nope.
Nope.
Go lose 6 in a row. Don't worry, FAMU's coming to town back
So, yeah,
in November.
I'm cool if we don't include it, but I feel it's definitely worth mentioning in my opinion.
All right, I have one that I think honestly candidate for game of the year. Georgia versus Tennessee in Knoxville.
Absolutely.
And
I think it's a lock.
That might come biased because we cover Georgia football a lot.
And we were all 3 there.
Yes, but that was such a back and forth game with a 4th and 6 clutch pass, a 2-point conversion, a missed field goal to send it to overtime. Like it had it all. Passionate fan base. That was the definition of what a fantastic college football game is, bar none whoever won. So I think that's a top 3 easy.
Top 3 SID department, no doubt. Those guys are killer.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's
I
definitely
think it's a unanimous selection.
got to be on the list.
Let me lob one at you, boys.
Go ahead.
Now, I know this one's on my list and my list only. But I do think from a pure nostalgia, pure scenery, how it looked, how it felt. Michigan, Oklahoma was like a really, really good college football game.
Okay.
It was.
I could see it.
It deserves respect. I don't know if I put it in the top 5 just because
I don't know what it is. What is this about me? Why do I like television in Norman, Oklahoma? Why do I like those games on television?
Well,
Is
I
it the
think
lights?
partially
Does it
because
feel
they
darker?
have partially because they have a brick wall surrounding the field.
Maybe. I don't know.
Probably
I think
should.
it's
don't know
also
what's
two
going on
very
there.
traditional programs.
That's
for
definitely
sure.
happening
And a
to
very
me.
rare matchup.
It's a satisfying matchup. It feels like one that you get only in
Postseason,
bowl
yeah.
season and big moments. So I get why it felt like that, and it was a fun game. Like both quarterbacks had really strong moments. This was kind of the first moment of like, hey, John Mateer might be a Heisman candidate, but
I just remembered Squirrel White dying in that field
Oh,
storming.
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
R.I.P. Squirrel White, man.
R.I.P.
Plus, this game occurred, I believe, in week 2. And
Yeah,
week
there was
2
nothing there.
Week 2 didn't have a whole lot of flash.
Yeah.
Like, this was all you had. So there's a reason why to feel
I
that way.
remember that being the case, and I also remember it living up to the hype of being the only game to really pay attention to that week.
Yeah,
Yes.
I felt like it landed.
Since we're doing that, I want to go ahead and throw this one out too. Not because I think it necessarily needs to be in the top 5, but because it deserves a shout out. Because almost no one remembers it. You guys remember in week 0 when it was like, oh, finally we have football back, and Stanford and Hawaii turned in an absolute instant classic. Now I get it. 2 very, very bad football teams, 2 not so great programs. But the fact that that game was as close as it was and Hawaii found the way to win in the end, it was a perfect way to cap off week 0, and it deserved its flowers.
There will be no Rainbow Warrior disrespect on this network. None.
None whatsoever.
Kid was playing on one foot by the end of that football game.
Yes.
it was.
And it was scrambling.
It was spitting the shit out of it.
Still finding ways to run. I was like, I can hobble for 7 yards.
Yep.
Let me get the first down real
Yep.
quick. Incredible. Game deserves a shot.
Was a good game.
Also, as was it was sloppy as shit, but the fight afterwards was kind of dope. Iowa State, Kansas State out there in Ireland.
Oh, my God.
Do y'all remember Dad? Y'all remember
yes.
Dad and Big Bro
Avery Johnson's
duking it
parents,
out in the
yeah.
parking
It
lot?
feels like a fever dream almost.
It does, right?
Because,
It felt fake.
yeah, it did.
It's like AI got us again. Nope, that's real.
I think that game was the epitome of what exciting endings can do for a football game because that was Iowa State all the way.
Oh, it was a slog.
And then it kind of was
yeah.
like, hey, Kansas State might get back in this. We've got a game here. And it ended kind of, in an exciting way. But the first 3 quarters of that game were kind of
What was sloppier, the football in and of itself or the field they were playing on?
Oh, gosh. Both.
probably. I mean, there were like 4 fumbles. in
That's
the
So
all
we've
that field
got 2
provides.
here. How about Notre Dame, Miami?
I don't remember that one being all that.
You don't remember the double
memorable.
move from C.J. Daniels?
No, I remember pieces of the game, but I don't remember it being like one of these.
The one-handed snag I remember. That's like one of the best highlight of the season, honestly. I remember this is when we were first like, oh, Miami's defensive line and offensive line are really, really good. They gave C.J. Carr problems all night.
Too early.
Yeah, it also, that game kind of just felt like a slow burn for me. Like there was never really big moment here, but
Well, and it became like I remember the biggest takeaway from the game, at least for me, was that C.J. Carr needed some time. Like things were not clicking with
seasoning.
Notre Dame's. Yeah, things were not clicking with that offense just yet. There were moments in that game where you felt him being frantic and just being a young football player. I think that may be partially why I don't hold that game in such high caliber.
I'll never forget the first thing that came out of Marcus Freeman's mouth in that game was him talking to Holly Rose. She's like, what do you got to do to get your quarterback off to a good start? And he's like, got to get him a lot of free access throws. Got to really take care of him to start the football game. It's like, buddy, he had no idea what he had. And I think going back, they probably would call that game totally different.
Right.
Oh, I'm sure.
If they knew what it was that C.J. Carr was.
I will say, I think if there was going to be a Miami game on this list, it's Miami versus Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl.
Okay.
Like that was the instant classic. That was 2 quarterbacks. Now Carson Beck wasn't necessarily slinging it everywhere.
You didn't like that 278. It wasn't spicy enough for you?
It was a good performance, but I don't think that I ever walked away from
I
that
think it
game
was
saying
228, actually.
I don't think we walked away from that game going Carson Beck is the reason that they won that game start to finish. Now, the last drive, the touchdown, the end, he'll always have that. But I don't think that was necessarily the star performance. But it was a fantastic football
I'd
game.
either put that one, or you could definitely make an argument for Miami versus Indiana.
Yeah, the Natty.
The Natty.
Oh, I was gonna slide the Natty in at number like the last one we put in here because I thought the Natty was one of the best football games of the year.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Interesting. I never felt
I
like
felt like that game was tense the entire time.
yeah, I got a completely different vibe from that. That game felt to me like, oh, Indiana's in control. Indiana's really in control. Miami has a really big explosive play from Mark Fletcher. And then at the end, it was like, okay, Indiana couldn't score in the red zone, so maybe Miami and Carson Beck drive
There
down
was
the
a
field.
moment there in the second half where Miami scores quickly. It's 10-10. They force a 3 and out. They're about to get the ball back in good field position, and they give up a block punt.
It was never 10-10.
What I thought the 17-7 is what the block punt made it.
Correct.
Yes.
Right, so it was 10-0 coming out of the half.
Yep.
And then Mark Fletcher goes on the long run.
Yep.
Then they get a stop, get the ball back. They go 3 and out, and then the punt gets blocked.
Yeah,
but I did think there was a moment in that football game in the second half where it felt like Miami had all the momentum.
for sure. But it wasn't like it never felt back and forth. It never felt like, oh, this game's going down to the wire. It was kind of just like Indiana's in control here, and can Miami make a miraculous drive to do so? And let's be honest, did anyone feel great about Miami's chances when Carson Beck had the ball in his hand in the last drive?
Well, maybe
Legacy drive.
maybe we didn't because we've watched a lot of Carson Beck, but I mean, to start the drive, it was. I mean, these boys are moving down the field rather quickly, and on top of that, I also remember where Fernando Mendoza has his incredible play. I mean,
Yes.
even me included said in that moment, "Well, that's ball game. Like that just won the game." It didn't. It ultimately did not just put the game away. Miami found a way to get that game back into a one-possession game. Had a chance to go down the field. Like, I thought it was a great end to the season more than anything. I thought it provided a great national championship game. I certainly could agree that you could make the argument that Miami Ole Miss was better. I was also at that game, but
Boys, we got 3 spots left.
okay. Who are the
So,
two? We have Georgia,
We have
Tennessee.
Georgia, Tennessee, A&M, Notre Dame.
Okay. All right.
I think the Natty gets one of these 5.
Okay.
If we want to put it at 5, I'm cool with that.
Let me toss out another one that might be kind of willing to talk about. How about Alabama and South Carolina?
Yeah,
I think it's an underrated game.
I thought it was sloppy.
Right, but I mean, sometimes those are very entertaining games. Like
Yeah.
Alabama opens the game with a pick 6 because the South Carolina wide receiver drops a pass. Lenore Sellers is doing Lenore Sellers things. You have an explosive touchdown to Nick Harbor, and then it requires Ty Simpson heroics in the fourth quarter for them to come back and win that game.
Here's why I'm going to say no. I felt watching that on film, every other play was atrocious.
Yes.
That's what it felt like.
Yes.
And that's a great way to explain those two football teams too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Alabama's highs were a lot better consistently, but I'm not going to put a football game where half of the time it was shit football going on this list.
And
That did make it
like,
more
It
exciting.
would be like, that game to
Of
me.
anything can happen right now.
Yeah, but
That game is-
tragically.
That game to me is comparable to, and I'm shocked that nobody in chat threw this one out here to us, of the Texas A&M South Carolina game.
Yeah.
Where not in the same sense of
Yeah.
like a
It's only
great
good because
comeback.
it was bad.
Yeah, like it was just a complete bad performance from Texas A&M in the first half, and then South Carolina just crapping down their leg in the second half.
Can we also kill the narrative that great comebacks make great games?
Yeah, no,
They
I'm
don't.
here. I'm with you.
That game was not entertaining to watch for 2.5 quarters, and then it was, oh shit, South Carolina might blow this. A fantastic game is from kickoff to the final whistle. It is a fantastic back and forth affair, or it feels close. That is not what that was. Same with the Super Bowl. Like everyone talks about how Tom Brady's 28-3 comeback is one of the greatest games in Super Bowl history. It's not. Sorry, Jay Will. I know-
Everything comes to that.
I mean,
everything
it-
comes to
It's a great
28-3.
second half.
I mean, it is the epitome of a squandered second half debacle. But I'm
Does
sorry.
Penn State, Indiana make this list?
I had it on my list. Now, but I also would agree that it probably shouldn't be because similar to some of the other games that we nixed from this list, it was kind of just some crappy football up until the point of Indiana had to go on a last-minute drive. And one of the biggest reasons why I put it on my list is because of the play that was made in the final seconds of that
Yes.
game to get the foot down and to go on and score. Like I think that Indiana faced like a 3rd and 16 at one point, or like they started the drive with like a 10-yard sack.
So, yeah, they have the ball back 1 minute and 29 seconds left on 1st and 10. They take a sack on first down. It's 2nd and 20 with the clock running. No timeouts.
Yep.
Mathematically, you're dead. You're so dead. Nope. I think they hit the tight end over the middle of the field for like 25 yards.
Yeah.
And then it's rolling from there.
I've got my last candidate that I think should be a top 5 game.
Yeah.
Tennessee versus Mississippi State. I think people forget about this game. Very back and forth. Joey Aguilar, or I can't remember if it was Blake Shea, scooping scores abound. Bunch of turnovers in this game, down to the wire. Almost went to OT.
Yeah.
Tennessee pulls it out 41-34.
So that one got overshadowed by like 4 games in the conference alone that week.
Yes, I
I remember that.
I think this was the same game, or the same week as Ole Miss Georgia.
Yeah.
So I mean, they were fantastic games, but that was a really, really good football game.
What did I leave out of here? I think we've given up all the
All right.
Indiana, Oregon the first time around?
Nah.
In my opinion, I think we put Florida State, Virginia at 4.
Okay.
We put that in front of the Natty. And then that leaves our number 3 spot.
Yeah, we have 1 spot left. I haven't ranked these. We just got 5.
Okay. So a final spot. I would be fine with Indiana, Oregon. I think I'd be okay with that one.
I like the Oregon-Penn State game better.
Oregon-Penn State's better than that, but even then, like,
Better football
I
game.
don't love either of those games.
I feel like we're missing one.
I know. I feel like there's one game that we're kind of.
Oh, Georgia-Bama.
The first time around?
Yeah.
No. That wasn't a good football game. It wasn't. Alabama led the entire game. It was a 2-score lead at half. Georgia scored 1 touchdown. There was 1 touchdown scored in the second half. Like, not a good football game.
Oh, we didn't put Georgia Ole Miss in this.
Oh, well, then we're chilling then.
Then we got 5.
All right, so what's our 5?
We got Ole Miss versus Georgia, Sugar Bowl, A&M, Notre Dame, UGA, Tennessee, FSU, Virginia, and the Natty.
Yeah.
That's actually,
Is
that's 5.
Chat saying Indiana, Ohio State was a top 5 game?
Yeah, we didn't mention the Big Ten Championship. That was a rock fight.
Yeah.
That
And look,
was a rock fight.
I'm here for it because I one thing I hate more than anything is when people see a close, low-scoring game in football and say it's crappy football. I'm here for you because defensive football games are great to watch at times. That one, I just don't know if that one's going on my top.
Here's why I don't think that game could be listed, in my opinion, as a all-timer top 5 of the season. There's like 2 plays in that game I remember.
And like put it this way: of top 5 games from a season.
Is that
in
a
my
bad
opinion,
metric?
Yes.
I put
But
it-
here's
Because
my-
I saw you make a face.
Let's put it this
when I
way.
asked.
Well, there's
I think
more,
this
I
is a
think,
good
but-
metric.
Yeah.
Your top 5 games from a season should be 5 games that you would go back and watch in an offseason and watch in totality. Like, I definitely would go back and watch that game.
And
I like that.
And this is going to be kind of the casual take. And I know that we are people that pride ourselves on watching film and enjoying the nuances of a football game. Here's the reality of a situation: an offensive shootout will always be a more exciting football
Facts.
game than a defensive masterclass. Doesn't mean the 2 games are any less in quality, but I would rather watch 2 teams have a 45-42 shootout versus a 10-3, slugfest.
The greatest football game I've ever seen was Rams Chiefs. The
regular
one
season
in Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, what a great football game!
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's like 52-47.
it was
Like,
insane.
give me more.
yeah, and for as much as of a casual take as that is of like, you only care about offense.
Yeah.
That it is the most exciting part of the game. Like, no one is ranking that Miami Texas A&M game inside the top 10 because of how great the defense is played in that game. That's the reality.
The anticipation in great games is I wonder what's going to happen next, and I wonder what's going to happen next is never, are they going to get another TFL? Like
Or
it's
it's never, how are they going to get the ball back?
Yeah, for real. How are they going to force a 3 and out?
Can they maybe get a stop, hopefully?
Sorry, defensive fans. It's just defensive coaches listening. Y'all know it's true. It is what it is.
Ooh, Oregon versus Iowa is a great shout-out. But again, sloppy football, kind
Rain,
of wild. And
gross.
But great game to watch.
Yeah.
Fun to watch.
All right, we have a whole nother hour coming up next. It is a loaded local hour. We'll see you on the other side of the break. Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes.
Can I talk that dog? What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into the Film Guy Network for what is set to be a loaded local hour. We got a great one planned for you guys. We got some dogs in the Super Bowl for, I don't know, the 37th straight year. We'll
25.
talk 25 straight years. Players whose draft stock is due for an uptick. We'll talk about that tonight. We have plenty of portal film notes. Guys, I went through and watched a ton of tape while we were being threatened for loss of power. So we got a bunch of film breakdowns coming up this week on the network. We're going to preview some of those tonight. We also have coaching movements to talk about tonight as well. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button here on the front end. Let's talk about some dogs in the Super Bowl. 25th straight year, a Georgia alumnus is in the big game.
Yep.
They call that the big game?
Yeah, they do.
The big one.
I think that's what people do to avoid copyrights because you can't just come out and say like Super Bowl and like other
Oh, yeah,
networks.
that's right.
But I don't think we're gonna get.
I don't think we're in that era.
I don't think
Or
we're-
that era.
Yeah, we're not gonna get demonetized for it. But the big.
Let's not try.
Yeah, the Georgia. We've got some Georgia Bulldogs going to the big game in the NFL.
We got some dogs over here
Or Santa Clara.
in Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Y'all want to go?
I mean, covering your Super Bowl would be cool, but I don't really want to fly out.
You know,
there.
that's one thing of the NFL championship game. Not one I've ever been like, gotta go to that one.
Got to be honest, seems like an overrated environment. Seems very wine and cheese.
Like, it doesn't scream football is being played here.
Yes, it's.
I feel like more people go to that game to watch the
schmooze.
halftime performance.
I feel like that game is all about schmoozing.
yeah,
I'm here
it
You're just
is.
there to shake the hands and
Yeah.
kiss the babies.
I'm here to flex that I'm here.
Facts. And then there's Radio Row, which we've had our experiences with rows of radio. I think it's what do they call that? Digital drive now
digital
at
drive.
SEC Media Day. So college football way beyond the Super Bowl and the NFL football.
I think
we have
maybe
digital drive.
I think maybe the next big game that goes to Atlanta, we should probably see if we can go to that because it's going to be a few years.
And I think it's gonna be a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it was there
Why
like
don't we
5
do-
years ago. I think they'll circle back maybe 20 years from now.
Why don't we do the Radio Row at FIFA World Cup?
Huh? You said what?
It's gonna be a big event in
I don't-
Atlanta.
I don't think that's our bag.
Ah, es posible.
We're a football show.
Ah, es a football.
No, thank you.
All right, loaded local hour.
But
So there are dogs in the Super Bowl, though?
there are not as many as usual. Usually, like obviously last year with the Eagles, they had 9 players. Jared Wilson for the Patriots and Kenny McIntosh.
Oh, I was about to say, don't tell me who the Seahawk is. I'm pretty sure it's just Kenny McIntosh. Is he on the active?
He's on the
He's
IR.
on the IR, unfortunately. However, there is a unique wrinkle to this of Mike McDonald, who
Ooh.
the Seahawks head coach, if you didn't know,
Dog grad.
is a graduate from the University of Georgia and served as, I believe, a defensive quality control analyst and safeties coach during the Mark Richt era. So an actual former Bulldog will be coaching in the Super Bowl. He's one of 2 former Georgia former Georgia staffers to be head coaching in the NFL.
I got a Mike McDonald story. You want to hear it?
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure this is correct. But I remember a source telling me that when Walter Nolan was on his official visit, he took a phone call from Mike McDonald in the middle of the visit and put him on speakerphone in the car with all the Georgia coaches. And they were like, "What's up, Walter? What you got going on?" He's like, "Oh, I'm down here in Athens." And then Mike McDonald went on like a 5-minute tirade about how Athens sucks.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
If Athens sucks. And he hung up the phone. And my source turned around and looked at Walter and goes, "You know he graduated from here, right?" It just, to me, it was one of those stories of coaches will say absolutely anything. They will do anything to make sure you want to go to
Was
their
this when he was
school.
in Michigan?
Yes.
Okay.
I
The
was gonna
one
say-
year he was at
The
Michigan.
1 year he was at Michigan, he was recruiting dudes.
and
like he
proceeded to
should.
play Georgia in a playoff game.
Yeah.
Didn't
I
go
was-
too well.
I was gonna say I've met a lot of people who come from the city of Athens or have spent time there. I've never met any of them that go,
Man, that place is awful.
That-
That city sucks.
I've heard, cesspool, but it's the most fun I've ever had.
Yeah, that was one of those. Oh, Damn, really?
Ah, shit.
You said that and thought you were going to get away with that one, huh? You thought that was going to pass as truth.
Yeah. Yeah, not
Interesting.
just a former student, graduate, and coach of Georgia, but also got a start of coaching in the Athens area at Cedar Shoals High School, right
Shout
down
out,
the road
yeah.
from the University of Georgia.
Went to Centennial High School, I believe.
Yep.
Played there, so deep Georgia roots. in the
Wow.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's also going viral for,
The 30 minutes with his son.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
tough. That's tough.
You know, something, I don't know. Hey, whatever. Whatever gets the job done for him, whatever makes his family happy, that's his business, not mine.
Well, I mean, he went viral as well for the the pre-speech that he gave to the Seahawks early in the season of like, hey, just imagine yada yada, we're here now. I can't remember that, but kind of prophesizing what exactly was going to happen, and they're in the Super Bowl right now.
The one thing I've noticed, though, about Mike McDonald's, like, how fast he climbed up the coaching rates and also how many, like, loops hoops he had to jump through. This guy had, like, just a few. Like, this isn't one of your typical coaches where it's like, he did a year at Georgia. He did a year at Pittsburgh. He did a year at USC. He did a year at Oregon. Then he went to the Chargers. And he went to here. And, like, this guy did Cedar Shoals, Georgia, Baltimore, then got upgraded to defensive assistant at Baltimore, then was defensive backs coach at Baltimore, linebackers coach at Baltimore, defensive coordinator at Michigan, defensive coordinator at Baltimore, head coach at Seattle.
probably really close.
What
with
the hell
Harbaugh,
was
bro.
he? No offense to the fine folks at Cedar Shoals. What the hell was he doing there for 2 years?
He was a student.
He was coaching as an undergrad.
Yeah, he
he
was a
was
student
coaching-
at UGA coaching at Cedar
He
Shoals.
was coaching while getting his degree,
Huh.
and then he came back.
I
to
bet that head coach of Cedar Shoals was probably like, "Hey, what should we do today? What do you think we should do today?"
I don't know. I mean, he was like probably like 20 when he was doing that job. It wasn't like, oh, this is coaching prodigy Mike McDonald's. Like, here's a 20-year-old kid who's helping on our staff.
I don't know. I feel like people found out pretty quickly he was a prodigy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, the fact that a college student is coaching linebackers and running backs at a high school, you got to know something.
The fact that he went from an intern with the Baltimore Ravens to a defensive backs coach with the
That's what I'm
Ravens
saying.
within 3 years is insane.
Again, he didn't jump around teams. Like, he just climbed and climbed and climbed, jumped around a few times, and now he's head coach.
Huh.
What a guy. And 24-10, mind you. It's
Very
his first
rarely.
head coaching stint.
Yeah, I mean, he's only 2 seasons into this thing. Very interesting.
And has had, not to throw shade at anything, but had Geno Smith as his quarterback, which he got 1 year
Geno
and then went to the
Smith.
Las Vegas Raiders. And now Sam Darnold.
People ask me all the time, not all the time, I shouldn't say that, but I'll get, 7 or 8 DMs a year about like, hey, I want to get into coaching. What should I do? What should my path be? Guys like Mike McDonald are reasons why I answer that there is no right path. There is no one thing that you need to be doing. Like, most guys are like, all right, well, I'll go play at a big school and then I'll try to play in the league. And if it doesn't happen, I'll go be a GA at the school that I was at, right? Like, that's the most common path for football coaches. And then there are stories like Mike where it's like, oh, I'm going to go be a finance major at the Terry School of Business at the University of Georgia. And meanwhile, I'm not going to play college football because I tore my knee up to finish my high school career. I'm going to go from there to being the linebackers coach at Cedar Shoals, and then I'm going to beg my way onto a GA positioning job here at Georgia. And then 15 years from now, I'm going to be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what's gonna happen.
That's literally his trajectory.
Huh? Same thing with Lanning.
Yeah.
Lanning was like, I'm a high school football coach. Within 9 years, I'm going to be making $7 million a year. Here we go. What?
Let me just drive to Pittsburgh and beg for a job.
Yeah, there's leaps there. I'm gonna bet on myself here, and obviously insane amounts of talent, and with both of those individuals, obviously an insatiable amount of work ethic.
For sure.
Like, this dude has been eviscerated on social media for his unwillingness to be around his family. He's like, no, he's just a lunatic. And that's kind of what you have to be sometimes, unfortunately, to reach the top of your profession. Now, those are the dogs in the big one.
That's right.
I've got a list of 5 dogs I think I wish the most would win the big one.
Hey, me too.
I do
Huh?
as well.
You too?
Yes.
Oh, number 5. You want a 1 to 5, 5 to 1?
1-5 this time.
I'm giving it to you 5 to 1, Jonathan. Number 5, Dylan Fairchild. Reason being, I want the Cincinnati Bengal fan base to win a Super Bowl. But here's the caveat. The current ownership can't be involved. The people that own the Bengals right now, that are out there pinching pennies every way they can to make sure that they stay profitable. To hell with them. They can all, get the hell up out of there. Give me private equity for all I care to own that sucker, and then they win a Super Bowl for the folks in Cincinnati.
Can't reward the wrong people. is what
Private
you're saying.
equity is going to pinch pennies more than anything, dude.
Well, you get the point.
Yeah.
Just to hell with them folks.
Understandable.
Number 4, Trayvon Walker, because shouts out to Duval. Spending a lot of that county's money building that canopy over that stadium. Shouts to the Jags.
Some say the most irrelevant number 1 overall pick ever.
Oh, he finna do some business and some work on this way to a Super Bowl. Okay.
He's been doing work. He's been
For
playing
these here
really well.
Jags. Number 3 and number 2, both from my homies on the desk. Number 3, can Jalen Walker win a Super Bowl? Because I want to see my Falcons fandom friends actually get a dub. That'd be nice for
That
them
would be
people.
nice for them.
That'd be so nice.
The Falcons would appreciate that.
And I think Brock Bowers will be the greatest of all time by the end of it. And he can't finish the greatest of all time run at the tight end position without at least a chip.
Dude, Brock.
So we got to get him one of
And you want
those.
to talk about people that they just deserve one. Brock Bowers deserves one.
Absolutely.
Hoisting the Lombardi Trophy in the silver and black. Oof. Puts a song in my heart.
Now, number 1. This is the most important. I think if you gave Herschel Walker a Super Bowl, he might be fringe Hall of Fame worthy.
This is interesting because usually running backs don't get this treatment.
You're right. But hear me out. Herschel played 12 years in the league. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, he's a UFL guy or USFL guy, and like it stole some prime of his, and it did. But he came back and played 12 years. Guy's got 13,000 scrimmage yards.
Yeah.
He's got 82 total touchdowns. He was a 2-time Pro Bowler. Give me a ring
Back when it used to
and give me
mean
a gold
something.
jacket. Give me a ring and a gold jacket. What say you?
Certainly helps the case.
It wouldn't hurt his case at all. I do think Herschel Walker kind of suffered from the fact that he was billed as a larger-than-life running back at a time where running backs were at their peak.
Yes.
Like everyone, like 1,000-yard seasons were kind of the norm in the early 90s. And he was just never – it never felt like Herschel Walker was the absolute bar-none best running back in the sport, in the league. And I feel like that's what you kind of had to be at the time. So it wouldn't hurt his case at all, but I don't know if it necessarily he was a super a big game ring away from being a Heisman, a gold jacket. So
Now for my top 5, and I'll say this, I think there's only I know it's opinion based. I think there's only one correct number 1 answer. I think there's only one
You wanna
right
say-
answer
you wanna
for
say
number
it?
1.
You wanna say
Nope.
number 3?
I'm going to save it for the last one that I have. We can say it together when I get to my number 1 option.
okay.
Number 5, though, Lad McConkey. Just like how we talked about, hey, some guys, they just deserve one. Brock Bowers, he's one of those guys that just deserves one. Lad McConkey bringing the Los Angeles Chargers their first ever Super Bowl in franchise history. That'd be pretty cool. Number 4, just for I would like to see what this does to this man. I would like to see what he would do in this environment, on this stage, on this setting. George Pickens.
Oh, Lord.
My goodness, I just want to see it. I want to see George Pickens in a Super Bowl game. Like, God forbid he wins MVP. Like, what that would look like on stage. Like, come on, man. I got to see it at least one time in my life.
the memes would be a bounty.
I'd rather not see Dallas Cowboy fandom have that happen to them.
It doesn't have to be
but,
with the Cowboys. Just George
It is
Pickens
what it
needs to
is.
be on the team.
That's fair.
My final 3 answers are going to be based on the fact of these guys should have got one in college but didn't. So number 3, Roquan Smith.
Yep.
Would love to see Roquan Smith. I don't know if that's happening with Mike McCarthy with the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, what is that?
Or sorry, no, not Mike McCarthy went to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sorry, getting all mixed up there. But, maybe it happens with Baltimore. I hope
Who
it
did the
does.
Ravens hire?
They hired Minter, right? That's who they
Yes.
hired? They hired Minter from the defensive coordinator from the Los Angeles Chargers and former Michigan.
So just fire one of the heads of the hardball tree to hire someone from the hardball tree?
Why not?
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, so Roquan Smith. Number 2, this partially has to do with the fact that this guy has suffered his entire NFL career with this organization, has been an unfortunate, but has balled out. I mean, one of the best players at his position when he's healthy, Andrew Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Thomas deserves to finally get a championship to his name from both the collegiate and professional level. And then my number 1 answer, the only correct number 1 answer, by God, this guy better have a ring before he hangs it up, or I don't think my life will ever be complete. Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
It's Nick Chubb.
He is
Nick Chubb needs a ring.
He is also my number one, simply because of what he did for Cleveland and how they kind of, cast him aside after the injury and just what he has been. Like, the definition of a no-nonsense star, Nick Chubb absolutely deserves a Super Bowl ring in his career, so he is
ring
my
chase,
number
baby.
one.
Just sign with the team you think is the best. I don't care. Just ring chase, baby. Yeah. There's no shame in it with you, all right?
Take the veteran minimum, just get a ring, dude. That's all
Come
you
on.
need. My number 5 is also a player who is on the Houston Texans, just because they are one of my favorite players to watch in the secondary. Kamari Lasser would absolutely deserve a Super Bowl ring just from the way he plays. Brock Bowers, obviously on this list, guys. I mean, come on, Raiders. I thought about just naming every single Raiders player that Georgia has.
Shout out Chris Smith.
He's no
longer with the Raiders.
Where's he at now?
I think
he was. Let me check on that. Yeah, he was with he got signed by the Jets briefly.
But yeah, number 3, Roquan Smith. Not only because he did not win a ring in college, but Roquan Smith will be a Hall of Fame linebacker probably by the time his career is over. I think having a Super Bowl ring to go with that would be absolutely outstanding. My number 2, Stetson Bennett. Obviously, Stetson Bennett in the starting capacity now. May or may not happen, but even if Stetson Bennett is the backup quarterback for a Super Bowl winning team, he would be the only player in Georgia history, or the only quarterback in Georgia football history, to win a national championship and a Super Bowl. That's pretty cool, and I think that would, just put another cherry on top of his already great story.
Is this correct, too? Was like Stetson he technically isn't active on the roster, but he travels and he suits up every game?
I didn't.
I swear I saw someone say this on the timeline of like, shout out to Stetson for not even being active on the roster, but showing up to every game in full pads.
Why would he not be active on the roster?
I don't know. That's why I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I know he's not the number 2 option in the quarterback room, but you always bring 3.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, it's him, Garoppolo, and Stafford. I don't know.
I just saw like a random passerby on the timeline.
I think that was more of a joke of like, this guy's definitely not getting in. Like when the backup puts on eye black. It's like, you're just doing it for the vibes, man. You don't even need that.
Doing it for the love of the game.
So, no way I would ever put eye black on my face without playing. That stuff reeks.
Really?
Bro, real eye black smells like manure.
The smell
real stuff, yeah, it's horrible.
Oh, I always just got like the cheap one from Walmart or Dick's.
The real stuff from Mueller smells like straight up horse manure.
Never.
That's why it always blew my mind when people
is active. I thought
people paint their whole face with it. I'm like,
I painted basically my whole face and never had like the...
Have you seen the player from JMU that does full white face?
No.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny, though.
He does full on white face.
All right.
Respect.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the smell never bothered me. Maybe that was a new ingenuity thing, but... Shout out to the Dogs in the Super Bowl.
Shout out to the Dogs in the big one.
Oh, damn. I did it again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
In the granddaddy of them all.
That's the Rose Bowl.
That is the bowl of some sorts.
There you go.
The bowl of superiority.
The bowl that is super.
There you go.
Might be some Dogs playing in that bowl that is super in this upcoming draft class, huh?
Yes, there.
How about that transition?
I like it.
All right, pre-draft stock up. So here's the deal. A lot of former Dogs going through the pre-draft process right about now. Some Dogs already at the Shrine Bowl doing good things. I saw
believe that
Colby
game's
Young.
played tomorrow.
Yep, Colby Young stacked and released somebody on one-on-ones, went viral. And then Dylan Bell did the same exact thing, went viral.
Dylan Bell's gone viral a couple of times out there for some of his routes.
Dylan Bell playing really, really well. So I've got a couple of guys that I think are going to absolutely smash this pre-draft process, and they're going to make themselves several hundreds of thousands of dollars. Do you want the list?
Let's hear the list.
I think Dalen will play really, really well at the Senior Bowl, but I think Dalen's going to leap like 4 or 5 spots at the NFL Combine. I think Dalen Everett's going to go to the NFL Combine. Mark my words. 6'1 3/4 minimum, 200 pounds. Let's call it 197. I think he runs 4.36 or faster, and he'll jump 37 inches.
I'd like to ask this question to get a gauge on how much of a difference you think his combine performance makes for where he's actually drafted. Do you think that this will be in comparison to like what Nicky Manwari did last year?
No. Eman Wari, and by the way, everybody knew that was going to happen with Eman Wari. I heard about that when they did their South Carolina in-house combine. That this kid was, we talked about it on air.
Yeah.
So no, to do that type of leap, you have to be like top 0.01% in all 7 testing categories is what Eman Wari was. I don't expect that type of performance from Dalen. Like I said, when you take his college tape and then you say, okay, almost 6'2", almost 200 pounds, a 4'3" athlete that jumps 37-plus inches, top 45 pick, guaranteed.
Dalen Everett, in my opinion, is the epitome of someone who goes, oh, wow, this person had a really, really good combine, but I've never really heard of them. Let's go watch their highlights. And then you watch their highlights and you say, oh, I've stumbled upon a diamond in the rough. No one's talking about this Dalen Everett kid. Like, he has never been the flashy, exciting prospect that I think he should be because he, like you said, he's the prototypical NFL cornerback build. But you're absolutely right. He will make himself a lot of money. And
the best thing for Dalen is the fact of when people do have that aha moment and they do say, well, let's go back and watch his highlights, let's go back and watch his tape. What people are going to do is say, oh, well, let's go watch him against Texas. Let's go watch him against Alabama.
Yeah.
Let's go watch him against all the big game moments that Georgia had in seasons and in the biggest games that they had. That's when Dalen Everett played best. So, beneficial for him because that's probably the games that people are going to go watch.
Agreed.
Oh.
Ooh,
was about to transition to the next one.
Sneeze.
He measured in just
in.
under 6'1", 193.
Yeah, so
at the Senior Bowl.
Prototypical.
By the way, that Jim Nagy cat was doing some good work for the Senior Bowl, huh?
Yeah.
Because mum's the word. Anybody out here doing Senior Bowl
not
content
as
right
big
now?
of an event as it has been in years prior, I feel like.
And that was all, in my opinion, because of him.
Yeah, it's because he's on Oklahoma's.
Correct.
He's a GM.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the GM at Oklahoma now. But he was the biggest spokesperson of that Senior Bowl event I've ever seen.
Yeah,
nobody talks about it anymore.
Usually when this event rolls up, you get all kinds of media down there, posting all about it.
Yeah, we'll see what it looks like. That's in it's next week, isn't it?
I believe so.
I think so, yeah.
Mum's the word. I think Dalen's going to play really well down there, but like I said, I think he's going to test really well. Now, I don't know how well Monroe's going to test. I think it's going to be very, very comparable to Joe Alt, which Joe Alt was like a 5-flat runner, but it was a 175 guy out of the blocks, so it was good enough at 6'7". I expect Monroe to do something similar, but I expect the talking about Monroe to increase the more and more people watch his film. He was such an underrated football player in college football. I don't think anybody was talking about how elite how elite of tape he was putting on. I think leading up to the draft, people are going to find out.
People already are.
Yeah.
I've already seen some people be like, yeah, this guy's a first rounder. This guy needs to be in the top 32.
It's on us, guys. We're sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Georgia fans.
Yeah.
We were a little too loud for a little bit.
We blew the wad on that one.
We were yapping too much mid-October about how this guy's a first rounder, and then when it came down to be like, hey, maybe he comes back another year.
Has nothing to do with the tape that he put on. Has everything to do with our platform.
Sorry, coach. Film guy said him first round pick. Gotta go.
Gotta go.
That's on us.
That's on us. I think Oscar Delp has a chance to do some. Wait a minute. He's what? The guy that had 265 yards last year. He's 6'5". He's 245 pounds. He runs sub 4.6. What is this?
Yeah, I think Oscar Delp will definitely suffer a bit from he only had this many yards. He sucked.
Oh, Georgia misused him.
Yeah, and again, have whatever debate you or just he sucks in general. Because that's what most NFL 90% of NFL fans, when a player gets drafted, they immediately go and look at his statistics. And if they see 200 yards, we just spent a draft pick on this guy. What do we do?
But it works in the inverse when you go to the combine, test really, really well, and then you have people from like last year when Arian Smith did this. Arian Smith caught every ball at the combine, and I saw people on the timeline being like reporters being like, classic Georgia misusing wide receiver talents.
They're already doing it with Dylan Bell.
Yeah.
And again, no disrespect to Dylan Bell.
It kills me that people want to say that Dylan Bell was underutilized at Georgia.
I thought he was overused.
I didn't know. I wouldn't say he
times.
was. I think that he was maybe misused because he had to be. I think that Dylan Bell was unfortunately a factor of we got to put you here because we don't have any better options and you are our best option. It's the same. Last year when Dylan Bell got plugged in at X and that's where he had to be. That's not Georgia selectively misusing him. That's him being misused because we have no other I think he got put in some tough positions throughout his career. And it's one of the reasons why I said what I said when we did our farewells of that guy was so impactful for this roster and had to do so many different things for this team. And I would say he was great at everything that you asked him to do.
Like we said during that farewell segment, he was a 5-way tool. He was a 5-way multi-tool that got asked to be a samurai sword.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be the 5-way tool, not supposed to be.
So I just have an issue with like qualifying him as like a underutilized player.
Oh, I agree.
I don't think he's that. I think Georgia used him as much as they possibly could.
I don't think he was underutilized at all.
How many reps at 225 do you think Micah Morris will do?
Do they even still do this?
Yeah. They do it at the Combine, and they do it.
Well, I think he's at the Shrine Bowl too, I believe. I think I've been seeing some reps from him.
But do they even like make a big deal? I feel like 5 to 10 years ago it was like, look how many reps he did. Like they don't even televise it anymore, do they?
No, they don't. I mean, they record it, but they don't televise it.
Yeah, they gloss. If someone does something big, they'll show the hype. Like
Used to, it was in that room, and it was
Yeah.
like really hyped up.
Yeah.
Now it's like off to the side at the
Yeah.
Combine.
yeah, now it's just all right. Do your reps. Oh, cool. 15 next. But yeah, no, I think Michael Morris will probably he should get 25.
Most reps you ever did at 225?
Oh, dude, like 6. I was never super strong at bench.
Gotcha.
Despised it.
Yeah.
Hated
long
bench.
arms.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I
Hated
enjoy it. I was just like, I'm not like
It's an easy lift for me back in the day.
bench press day and any pull up type of day. I hated.
Barrel chested with short arms.
Yeah,
I was
man,
a
just was
king
not my thing.
bench presser. I got him at about 32.
So, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
25 should be the floor, which he should clear easy.
Yeah.
I feel like the bench press matters a little bit more at like the team pro day. Like
yeah.
from what I remember from Georgia's pro day
Yeah.
last
Almost
year.
everyone does it.
It's so cool because it's like you're in the team locker or team weight room session. Like all the boys are rallied around one another and they're just hype as hell for any guy that's on the bench.
Yeah. The show last year was Chaz Chambliss.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think he did 32.
Yeah.
And when he
white
racked it, a scout looked
It
at
is
me
so
and said,
funny.
how many?
It's funny because like you got players coming in between class like with their book bag and they're just standing there like getting lit with their team and then they walk out and go to their class. It's just
How
funny
many
moments.
reps could you get at 225? Right now? I don't know. If I warmed up properly, maybe like 7.
I don't know.
I think I might get to 10.
There's no sense in trying because we don't have camera 1 anymore.
No, you're right. I don't.
Man, OGs remember.
Yeah, OGs remember. That wasn't that long ago.
Was that off season?
No.
Had to have been
No, that was mid-year this year.
mid season.
I think so.
Man,
Yeah, no. Back in the day, though,
back in the
quite
day.
a bit. Back in the day, I think the most I ever did was 26.
Look, it should be worth knowing. I never have weighed more than 195 pounds in my life. So, like,
Yeah, no, I've never weighed less than 190 pounds in my adult life.
heavy bench press was never in
Came out the womb that way.
never
I
like.
said adult life.
Oh, okay. I thought you said my entire. life.
I cleared 200 pounds by the time I was a freshman in high school.
Sick.
I remember the first time getting on a scale at like freshman football orientation, like that summer going into high school. I was 214 pounds, and I couldn't vertical the first tab on the vertical machine, which is, for those of you who don't know, 18 inches. So my original vert was fewer than 18 inches, and I couldn't bench press 135 pounds as a freshman in high school.
I did have a 30-inch vertical. That was my like.
By the time I left, those numbers were slightly
Very different.
Yeah, considerably.
Yeah.
But as soon as I got to college, I blew my shoulder out. Shout out Greg Carswell, the head coach of Grayson High School now. Blew my shoulder out, and then it was done. Couldn't. I don't think I went from bench like repping 405, maxing out 430s, to like couldn't touch 315 without
Yeah.
like needing a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
It was bad. So yeah, we were up there for a while. Speaking of up there, I'm very curious to see what Krista Miller does. Because I don't envision Krista Miller to be some super freak athlete.
Yeah.
I envision him to be a good enough athlete that plays super freaky. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
So I'm very curious to see what he tests like. It might be a no test situation.
It could be. And that's what I was going to say. It might be a good idea for him of just be one of these you got to trust the tape players. Like
Yeah.
the amount of tape that this guy
I would
has
almost
put on.
I would almost make you do that.
Yeah.
You
Like,
know?
just go watch the last 2 years of my college career, and what you see on the field is what you're going to get. Like, you just got to trust what you see. 'Cause there's nothing bad on there, man.
Yeah, there are some players where it's like how much are you going to get helped? How much is doing
Yeah.
these drills going to increase your draft stock? I mean, it's why you see more and more opt-outs than ever. Like 15 years ago, it was like taboo to opt out of the combine. Now it's like, watch the tape, talk to my team, you'll get your numbers. So,
I mean, Jalen didn't do anything at the combine last year, did he?
No, I think he had a quad injury or something like
Mike
that.
Hill did nothing at the combine 2
No.
years ago.
no, they were both.
And I'm not saying this. I don't think Christian's in that echelon.
Right.
But it could be one of those things. Who is the number one D tackle off the board this year?
Ruben Bain.
That's a D end.
I mean, yeah, you can move him in the 3 though if you want.
I'm almost getting to a JJ Watt comp for him. His arms aren't long enough, but he kind of reminds me of that. Just the way that they play with their hair on fire for 4 quarters.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. But yeah, it's not like it's like an incredibly.
Did we miss anybody in that discussion?
Looks like Lee Hunter, Texas Tech.
Okay.
Seems to be DT1, according to Daniel
Yeah.
Jeremiah.
I think
that
there's a
makes
couple of
sense.
players that are worth noting, like Zachariah Branch.
Yeah, I didn't put him on this list because I don't like. What are we? How are we going to make money?
Well, that's what I'm wondering is like, and this feels bad to say, but how much money are you going to lose? Because
Well-
there is going to be the short arms, short hands, short in general.
Here's my deal. If we're going to Indy, which we are, he is.
Yeah.
If he's going to Indy, he better run
Yes.
because the knocks are going to be had if you don't.
Yeah.
And if you do run and you run well, we can eliminate some of those. You know?
Right.
But unless you're, working – by the way, it's a 10 300-meter kid that we've seen run in football pads. I would assume we have a sub-4 440 coming up on our hands. The question is, can we go sub-4 3? Like, can we – if we're testing anything sub-4 3.5, we need to go run and make ourselves money.
Yeah.
If we're running 4.38 to 4.42, sit it out, run it at the pro day, run fast, show them you can run fast, and lead on the tape.
Yeah.
But you're going to go up there and get put on that measurement tape, and it's going to be, wow, he's little. And then they're going to put you in this category of these people that fit this physical mold, how successful have they been? And they're going to find out the answers are not a lot of them. Not a lot of them have been successful at this size. So you're going to go through a lot of those negatives. We could curve that with an elite 40 time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
40 time, 3 cone drill probably. I'm sure he'd do well at that. All those
Who
things.
was the Oregon receiver last year that was kind of similar? And this was
Was
like,
it
hey,
Troy Franklin?
maybe he's like the hey, he's undersized, but wait till he runs his 40, and the 40 wasn't just like magnificent.
Oh, yeah, Theo. Right?
Yes.
Theo Johnson?
I believe so.
No, that's the tight end.
Yeah.
The kid that lived with – you're talking about the kid that lived with Bo Nix.
Yes.
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 So yeah, that's why I think
Or
that
not Theo Johnson. That's the
Tez-
tight end
Tez
from Penn
Johnson.
State.
Tez
Johnson.
Johnson.
Tez
That's who
Johnson.
it was.
Tez.
Tez Johnson. So yeah, don't be like Tez Johnson. Like it actually showed the burn.
Yeah, like, again, I find it hard to believe Tez Johnson didn't know he was slow. How do we go up to Indy and not know that we're going to roll slow,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's like, in the inverse, how in these shit does Stetson Bennett not know, hey, I probably should try today because I might run 4.46?
Mm-hmm.
That might look a little different,
Yeah.
you know? Which tells me, he said it, I think, afterward. I don't run these. I never ran one. It's the first time I ever ran.
Such a Stetson.
Just being Stetson be like, yeah, sure, what?
Sure, why not?
Wow.
I guess I'll just
You want me to do what?
just run.
All right.
I can-
A whole 40, huh?
All right.
What about CJ Allen? What's kind of the process for him right now?
Is he a don't test?
I think so.
Because I mean, it feels like he's on the fringe of like some people throw his name around in like fringe first rounder.
If he were a first rounder, he'd go to the combine around 4.42.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Of like,
And if he does, he will be a first rounder.
mm-hmm.
Now, CJ was an 11-second flat guy out of high school at 227 pounds.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was doing it at 205 and then put some college weight on. Like, he was thick in high school, running really, really fast. So, I don't know. I think if you're a 4.55 guy, you go run. If you're a 4.62 guy, you sit it out.
right,
You know? And, like, how healthy are we?
you have to imagine.
too.
You have to imagine they're fairly healthy.
Let's
right?
see if I can get some intel on this.
But yeah, like I feel like my thing has always been you don't participate in the combine if your money has been made and you're reaching your ceiling of that, and the only way to go is down for you. Like if you're a top 10 pick, you don't need to work out at the combine. If you're a top 32 pick and you're fine being in the first round, you don't need to work out of the combine. If you're maybe a top 45 pick in a really, really big, 40-yard dash or a cone drill or something like that can make people go, oh, man, this guy needs to be in the first round. Stuff like that's when you work out. So, I don't know.
I guessed 4.55, and I got a like.
Okay. Well, first
Was
some
it
insight.
this is important. Was it the heart or was it the thumbs up?
It was a thumbs up, and as usual, we could work together. Meaning like ball knower kind of thing.
Just for
Oh, so
reference,
this is-
Roquan Smith ran 4.51.
Just reference, Roquan's got an inch and a half and about, I don't know.
I know. I know. Hey, as good as C.J. Allen's college tape was too, Roquan Smith, it's a step above that. There's a lot of other things.
Or two. You
know,
know?
I'd look-
Like,
hey,
I
I'm
love
not-
CJ as much as the next guy, but wow, was that Roquan tape
I
something?
was trying to be beneficial to both sides, all right?
I just think it's safe to say, like, with certain football players, we just might not see another one like that.
For sure.
And I'm going to put Roquan in that echelon.
That's
I think
very
there are
valid,
two
Alan.
Georgia players that fit that, Brock and Roquan.
That's very valid.
It's just them, and then the player comp for the next guy needs to start at number 2.
Yeah.
You know?
Fair.
Like, hey, he might be Darnell Washington. We just don't need to ever do the he might be Brock. No, he probably won't be.
Yeah.
You know?
That's fair.
So, even though when he did switch to 3, I was like, ooh.
We're leaning into it.
Ooh.
It wasn't the same numbering, though, so it didn't look the same. That was more of a Todd Gurley freshman year 3 than
But it did look better.
it certainly looked better. Like, you got to be an absolute dog to rock 33 and make it look tough.
Shout out Chauncey Bowens.
Yeah.
He might have a number change coming up this year, though.
I wouldn't be
would.
surprised.
I
I
would
wouldn't
not
be
be
shocked at
surprised.
all. Somebody's going to rock the deuce, right? Somebody in that running back room is going to take 2.
I would imagine.
Bo Walker's not going through a
I think
number
the Kentucky
change.
kid might have worn 2.
Who was it before Josh McCray?
It was Kendall Milton.
So no one wore it in 24.
Yeah,
then.
Dante Dowdell wore 2 at
Oh, that's
Kentucky.
because Nitro Tuggles.
Yeah,
number 2.
Tuggles rocked it.
Yes.
Yeah, he was that in number in 24. Okay.
I watched a bunch of tape while we were worried about the power going
Oh,
out.
yeah. Speaking of transfer guys, right?
Yeah, watched a bunch of transfer tape. Do you want the bad news?
Let's hear the bad news.
Yeah, let's get the
it
bad
out
news out of
Get
the
it out the way.
My man Jaquez.
Richardson,
Yeah, it's
the one from Alabama A&M.
Yeah, that's a body.
Okay.
So we'll just leave it at that.
I don't think that's bad news. I think that's great
Nah,
news.
it's body. Okay, you need bodies. Everybody needs bodies. So he's a body. Now, these next 3 we're going to talk about, I think they're dudes. I think they're guys that are going to play. Okay, let's start with Khalil Barnes, the transfer out of Clemson. He is from North Oconee High School. I like the football instincts. Okay, I think he's very well-rounded. He's really good at a lot. Okay, that being said, I don't know if he's great at like any one thing. All right. Now, I do think he's a really, really good tackler. I don't think there's a missed tackle on tape, but there's very little power in the pads. Okay, we don't strike. We kind of, he's down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's okay. There's like 3 options. He misses tackles. He has very little contact strength. He knocks MFers out and never misses tackles. The last 2, playable. The first one, can't do it. Can never do it at the University of Georgia. He's a good tackler.
Is it a negative when we? Or is it a net when you get hit at the point of contact? For example.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Like,
So
we're
it's-
getting dragged.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're making the tackle.
We don't stalemate. There's no, it's on
All right.
your end. Don't turn the Louisville tape on. It's bad. Like, we're getting ran slap over. But, like, we're getting ran over and grabbing cleats on the way through. So he doesn't run us over and score. He runs us over with a lot of oohs and a lot of ahs. Okay? People asking, can that be fixed? If a 21-year-old finds strength and power, like out of nowhere. So I don't know if that's 100% there. What's up? By the way, Malachi was this for the first 2 years of his
literally
career.
was about to say. I feel like
And he did
wasn't
find
that-
some.
Was that not what Malachi Starks was?
But you can find interceptions that fit this, but find me the hit from Malachi Starks' career where you were like, whoa, holy hell, put it on the highlight reel.
Never had one.
Okay, so you don't have to be this.
Yeah,
is
okay.
what I'm trying to get at. Like, we don't have to be an absolute striker, okay?
we don't all have to be Lewis Seen.
Correct. And I would argue it was a detriment of Lewis Scene's career. Like Lewis had he was a scud missile is what Lewis was. He was a missile, but every once in a while we got no idea where that's going. So this one, not so much. We're very much so we know where we're going. We know how to get there. We're going to get there. We just might not arrive. You know what I mean? We might just get there. Now, they didn't take him out of high school for a very specific reason. Okay, they didn't feel like he had the top end twitch required to play at this level. And Jonathan, you were in here when we broke it down. I would argue that still shows up on tape.
Yeah.
There is very little in this one. There's not a lot of, you know what I mean? And we kind of get ran by every once in a while. We might have to take, very, very deliberate angles because we don't have that top end speed. So there is that. You can see it. He's not super twitched up. But I do think this is a very, very good football player with a lot of boxes that need to be checked to play at Georgia. Most notably, you have to be able to tackle, and he doesn't miss tackles.
Well,
so
and also it's
news.
the experience that you really, really need. Like,
Yeah.
say what you want about Clemson football the last 3 years. He started on a Power 4 roster and has been a major contributor for them. Like, that's something you need. That's something you would have killed for this time last year.
And we should, while you said that, we should note that I watched 3 or 4 games of him. I did feel like he was the second safety of a group of 3 safeties that they played. Number 6 never came off the field. He was the second safety. And then they felt for some reason the need to play number 5. And number 5 is a white boy who's 6'3", 215 pounds and has no business playing on the third level of any defense. So there's that. Clemson football ain't bad. Ain't as bad as it was this year only because of their roster talent. I'll just throw that out there. It was a tough watch. Kirby, they busted a cat. They fired the corner.
Oh, no.
And the safety just walks his little happy ass right down into the box. And they give up a 75-yard touchdown because the receiver goes, "Hey, nobody's over here."
Oh, no.
Jamarly Riddle.
Ooh, tell me about this.
Swing your sword. I'm a Pirates man, okay? This is an ECU Pirate, and this is my guy, all right? I love this tape already. It's filled with explosive material, okay? He is an extremely confident striker, You're going to notice when we show you this tape tomorrow that when we close space in full stride until like the last 2 seconds, unzip our feet, uncoil our hips like a daggum python. I love this kid's tape, okay? 5 interceptions over the career, 2 years as a starter, tells you like we have good ball skills and we have an instinct to find the football. That being said, the tapes that I watched, I would like to see ourselves attach in zone coverage a lot better, okay? There's moments where, for example, we're showing too high, we break too high, we're the low hole player now. We've got a deep over working behind us, okay? We turn, we see the deep over, and then we look back towards the quarterback and we float away from the deep over gets completed.
Oh, don't you worry. You spend some time on a Kirby Smart defense, you will never be looking back to the quarterback for the ball.
I hope you're right. I hope that some of these things do get cleaned up. All that being said, all confidence is betrayed. I know who he was coached by. I know those ECU defensive coaches. I know their brainstem. He was coached well. All right, there is no, all right, maybe he'll just get this supreme level of coaching when he gets up here and he'll be a much better football player. I'm sure there are some things that they will teach him, okay? But he comes from good roots from a defensive background and coaching standpoint. I love their entire defense, and you'll see this about them when we study this tape. There's a linebacker on this tape we're going to show you tomorrow. I am flabbergasted he was not poached. Absolutely stunned. I mean, guys, this ECU staff put a first-rounder at corner in the draft last year, and they had about 7 Division I players stolen off their defense last year. They came back to have another great defense this year.
Well, hey.
They're great.
According to Pete Golden, it's never too late. So, Kirby, why don't you go make some phone calls?
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Pete just does what he does.
That's right.
We forgot to talk about that in the National. I don't think Dabo meant to give them as much firepower as they did with that one.
Yeah, that
was going to be on T-shirts.
Oh, that's gonna be if God forbid if Ole Miss and Clemson see each other at this point in the year, and Ole Miss wins, the admin is gonna have a field day with that soundbite, like a la Buffalo Bills style. Ooh.
So I tweeted the Jamar Lee Riddle tape is electric, and I got a text from one of his coaches from last year and says, "You have absolutely no idea." And then it says, "Watch the pick versus Temple, and then go watch his tackles versus Memphis." So that's what we'll be doing after the show tonight. And then he said he had a pick versus Coastal where the still frame photo has him in a vertical of about 40 inches.
Oh.
Going up and getting the football.
Hell yeah.
He's a dude. You probably should have taken him out of high school.
Yeah.
But, he was an undersized kid at Camden that was playing running back and linebacker, and you just didn't know what to really do with him.
Right.
Now you know. So there's that. I watched Isaiah Canyon as well. Now, let's start with the good. I think he pulls away really, really well. I think he's got some good 20 to 40. All right, that 20-yard marker to 45-yard marker, he's really going to put some distance in between him and whoever's trying to chase him. I think he stacks corners really well because of this, right? When we're in bump and run, he gets on top of corners pretty well. That being said, big-time head snatcher. I mean, every time he stops, you can see on tape him just snatching his head down. And the reason I don't love this, two reasons. One, I don't think the best route runners ever made were violent at any moment in any route they ever ran. Every route looks smooth. Every route looks the same. There are no, big-time all this stuff going on, all right? There's a lot of that in Isaiah's tape, all right? So that's first and foremost. We're not smooth, all right? We're young. And now the other thing that I think it causes problems because particularly on comebacks, all right? Now, they ran a lot of them to him last year on third downs at Tech because he was their lone big-body target on the outside. Everybody else is a scat back, essentially. Every other wide receiver at Georgia Tech's like 5'11", 190 pounds. They look like Nick Singleton, or Eric Singleton. That's what they look like, okay? But he's the only big-body guy, so they did a lot of, hey, go run to the sticks, stop, turn around, the ball will be on your face. Well, when we're snatching our head down and we're moving our eyes a lot when we run our routes, we're moving our eyes, right? We're moving our eyesight. The ball is moving. We're moving. We're going to drop We're going to drop the pass, right? We have a lot of drops on comebacks on tape. And I think that's why. I think we're moving our eyesight quite a bit because when you get this kid in a deep over scenario, when you get this kid in a shallow cross scenario, when you get this kid in a square in scenario, when you got him running into contact, you put the ball on him, he's going to pluck it, and he's going to protect himself, and he's going to do something after the catch. So I do think there is some cleaning up of the route running, and we will eliminate some of these drops that we have.
I was say that was going to be my main question of like the big red flag that was hung over this kid's head when he commit was, hey, he drops the football a lot, and everyone knows coming from that 2024 season that you hear the word drops, and it's like he can't be on our roster. So is this one of those things where it might be a Zachariah Branch situation where you can claim there's a lot of drops, but there's reasons for it, or is it he'll just every now and then?
So the Zachariah Branch drops, when I watched them, I was like, those are all catch radius drops. Those are all to do with the fact that he's 5'8", maybe, right? The fact that he does have short arms. When I watch Canyon, I think it has far more to do with the fact that, like I said, we're not ready for that ball's on me when I come out of the break, and now I have to flash my hands to my eyes, and we drop one right off our hands. There's one against Wake Forest. There's one against Clemson. There's one against Pitt. They're all the same route. Mm-hmm. Again, did not see a single solitary drop over the middle of the field. And what's even weirder is they'll throw now screens to him, right? So it's a very similar scenario where, I'm lined up this way. I'm going to turn around immediately, give you my chest, and put the ball in my eyes. And he plucks those, puts it right into the gullet, and takes off running. I think it has everything to do with the way that we have to run those comebacks because we're not ready yet to control our body weight in and out of the break without snatching our head down tremendously. Something I'm probably going to talk to Terrence about maybe after I get off the show. It's like, hey, why would a kid only drop comebacks? What's going on there?
Yeah.
I think it could also be the angle that the ball is coming at you because the ball is never coming at you straight on as it would be if it's coming out from the sides. That's my 2 cents of someone who very briefly played wide receiver. Well, not briefly, but minutely. So, just from experience. But yeah, I guess you're texting Terrence now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Always
I
a
am
good
excited
person to
about
get
this
insight
Canyon
from.
kid, and I do think that he could absolutely be one of these, oh my God, stars in the making for Georgia. I think it also the more likely route is just a really solid option at the Z spot.
Yeah, I wrote in my notes, I think he's C.J. Wiley insurance.
Oh, so
Yeah,
you think they'll put him
for-
at the
for
X?
sure.
Oh, he's a true
like
full body
6'4",
X.
right?
He's 6'3", 205 pounds. I think he's 100% C.J. Wiley
So you think,
insurance.
do they run Twix this year
No.
as well?
If they didn't run Twix last year, they ain't never running Twix.
All right, well,
Kirby, they had $2.5 million tied up in their X receiver room last year and didn't use all two of them or two of them at one time.
I don't want
I'm
to.
getting 3 dots.
I don't want to besmirch this. Did they stay away from Twix maybe because they were like, maybe one of these guys?
Might get hurt.
Not even that. Maybe one of these guys isn't necessarily quite ready to see the field.
I mean,
Let's be real, and I hate doing this, but there was a time when Colby Young got injured, and it was like, all right, it's about to become the Noah Thomas show. Like, there's nothing stopping him from getting on the field, and even then, it was kind of, well, where's he at?
Well, what's weird about that is, and again, this is maybe propaganda. Fall camp was all the rave. Spring practice was all the rave. Mm-hmm. This Noah Thomas guy, wait till y'all see him. Mm-hmm. Unguardable.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
So I think that may be what it is. Man, he's an extensive response.
Oh, you mean you asked the savant about it?
Yeah.
You asked the guy.
Oh, I asked the right guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So, those tapes, that's what I got here. I'm kind of stalling to see what we got here from the legend.
I mean, I do have an Athens story from the weekend I could share.
Word?
I think that this is like peak Athens. Like if you want to know what living in Athens or being in the city of Athens is like, I think that this story really encapsulates this.
You were in Athens this weekend?
I was on Friday. Friday, I went to the Rock Lobsters game. If you don't know what the Rock Lobsters are,
A rock lobster!
this is a minor league hockey team, and this is their second year being in Athens. And it is what hockey is all about. I mean, I looked it up. These guys, if you are a rookie in this league, you make $150 a week.
Whoa.
If you are a veteran in this league, you make $400 a week. These guys are just doing it for the hell of it because they love hockey and are obviously trying to up themselves up the totem pole in this league. But these guys just love hockey, all right? So, anyways, the game isn't the story about this, but they go on and they win 12-3. I think it was, 12 goals scored by the Rock Lobsters in a hockey game, by the way.
Rock lobsters.
Got some dudes on them. Well, anyways, me and my family are leaving the hockey game, and right outside of the arena is an outdoor wrestling mat. And there's like, I don't know what league it is or what you would call it, but
Is it the micro
had to be. No, not that.
I want to see that.
But it's like a off-brand WWE, I would say. There's this massive, I would say maybe he's Samoan, but he's like 6'3", long hair in a Speedo. It's like 25 degrees, by the way, freezing cold. And then there's a smaller guy fighting this gentleman, and they're just going ham on one another in this like miniature WWE ring, just smacking the crap out of one another. It was like the most, I was like, only in Athens does this happen, where you walk out of a hockey game and you're going to go then watch some off-brand WWE.
Was there a tip jar?
I don't know.
Should have been.
But, like, I mean, you literally walk out of the arena, and it's just there. And, I mean, they got an official out there, people going nuts. I mean, they got the whole choreography down.
You mentioned micro wrestling.
Yeah.
What would happen if, a bystander was just like, you know what? I'm going to go win me one of these rings. I'm going to win me one of these
That
championship
happens,
belts.
and they get their asses kicked.
By who?
The
Security?
Yeah.
Security.
You
Oh,
can't-
here we go.
You can't intervene. You can't intervene with micro wrestling. It's part of the show. You can't just come up there and start wailing on them.
An inability to track and locate the football when you're opening up away from the quarterback.
Okay.
So it's an eyesight thing.
That was kind
Kind of where we were going.
Yeah.
And I think that has everything to do. Like, dude, you'll see it tomorrow. We're running comebacks and like slipping out of the break, having to put our hands down on the ground out of the break, just because I think we're a big athlete that can run in a straight line. But when you're 6'3.5", 205 pounds, it's hard to stop. You know,
That's fair.
Really hard to stop. So I think that's what we got going on there. I don't want to sit here and burn these high school tapes right now.
Okay.
So I'm good. Are y'all good?
I think we're good.
We cut it 4 minutes short. I apologize. I'll be better tomorrow. I promise. Big time tape day tomorrow here on the network. So there's that. We were slacking while the snow was coming down.
I don't know
here
if
in
I'd
the state of
consider that
Georgia.
slacking. I would say the elements were not.
Elements were
fair.
elementing.
That's like saying the students at school were slacking because it got closed. Like, no. The weather had other plans. Which, by the way, I was very disappointed in the weather. Thought we were gonna get a nice snow day, dude. It was ice.
Well, you ever thought why did you think it was going to be snow?
I like snow, dude. It's cool.
But why did you think it was going to be snow? The snow was never mentioned in these weather reports in our area. It was catastrophic
anytime-
ice storm headed your way.
Anytime you hear, oh, they're canceling school, snow. That's what it is. in
No,
the South.
it gets canceled because ice is on the roads. You cannot travel to school because there's ice.
I wanted a snow day and I didn't get it. Instead, I got ice.
Yeah, sleet, ice, freezing rain, all that
Shit
stuff.
was not.
I know way too much information about generator.
Oh, yeah.
That's good for. the
Are you
next time
keeping
it
that
might
big
happen.
tank?
I mean, I've had that big tank for 3 years now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've had that tank in the garage for a while. Yeah, a little bit about me. I happen to be somewhat of a prepper. That didn't happen to me until I had children, and now I'm like, what happens if?
It's understandable. I mean, you are responsible for two very small beings.
Yeah, I just used to think those people were cracked out of their minds back in the day. There used to be this Doomsday Prepper show on Nat
A&E.
Geo on A&E.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
remember
those
that.
guys.
I mean,
those
those guys are.
Those
nuts.
guys are a little bit
having
crazy.
a little bit extra gasoline in a generator is not
It's
doomsday
not,
prepping.
Yeah,
like they
I
were.
dug a hole in my ground.
Yeah, no, I have a bunker.
I have a safe bunker. All right, boys and girls, we'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way out. I love you.